Okay, are we live?
Yes,
Okay, so the intro has not played at all for me.
it
It's
hasn't for
still,
me either.
oh boy. All right, I'm gonna take the video down.
Hmm. Oh, you
All
mean
right,
the
the
picture down,
photo, yeah, the
the
picture
photo,
down, yeah, yeah. The intro
and
didn't play at
and
all.
and then you should play the intro. That should be just a cold open. We always do, we once in a while me and you are always the ones who do these
Yeah,
cold
it's always
opens by accident.
us.
By
Yeah,
accident.
yeah. It's not our fault. It literally says it still says go live when I click or like on my StreamYard. It does not say we are live at all right now. But I was like, I feel like we are, and I didn't just want to do the usual show. So maybe the intro will play at some point. It's really tripping me out though, because it still says go live, like we're not on the air.
Like you've been live for a minute and 20 seconds now.
What if I
It's
just
still
click
saying
go
go live.
live? If I click go live and play intro again, I'm afraid that. Oh yeah, see, I'm afraid I would have clicked end stream. Now it says we're live. Now it says we're good.
Okay,
All right, we're
we're
gonna
live, pal.
redo. We're gonna redo this whole thing. That was the cold open, effectively for this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday morning.
We're just gonna replay everything. We're gonna replay the. We're gonna play the rock intro too on top of all this.
Take a look.
It is Tuesday, November 25th. It is time to get in the weeds. StreamYard tried to fuck on me this morning, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it, SP3. How are you doing on this lovely Tuesday?
I'm doing well. I got to hear that in the weeds thing. I got to do the Carlton to it. Always a good morning. Always a good way to start the morning. Always why you should be here every weekday morning with us on In the Weeds. Yes, even when Joel's here.
I mean, you don't have
Well,
to join us when
some,
Joel's here. It's
yeah,
fine.
sometimes. Sometimes when Joel's here. But yes, this is In the Weeds. It's Tuesday morning. We got a lot to discuss. Jeremy, it's been a huge weekend. And, you guys did a 3 hour plus show yesterday talking all about Full Gear. And I am glad I am here on a Tuesday to be like, forget what everything they said. I was there live. My opinion matters more. So that is what we're going to be doing on today's show. We might be talking about a few other things from the weekend that they might have not touched on or might have touched on. I don't know. I watched a portion of the 3 hour
Wow.
hour show. I watched most of it. I
I
had to,
know.
I had to do work and other things at the time. I am not one person to criticize anybody for doing long shows. I did a 4 hour plus review of Full Gear on Sunday, so I am not one to judge. But I don't know if they touched on jet speed in CMLL, so we might talk about that. I might do a best matches on today's show and to Thursday show because there's gonna be, I know by Wednesday in the Continental Classic there's probably gonna be some stuff that gets usurped that I want to give credit to. So I'm gonna do two this week. So we'll talk
Okay.
about that. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw with one of the greatest all-time botches in WWE history. That is being in comparison. It's being talked about in rarefied air. I talk about it all the time in the NBA. People talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Is he better than Kobe Bryant? People talk about Nikola Jokic. Is he the greatest center of all time? We got to talk about, is this Brock Lesnar botch on the level of the Shockmaster? We're going to talk about that on today's show, and everything else. Not really. We'll talk mostly about the botch because not too much else happened, especially if you're a women's wrestling fan, happened on last night's show other than great Becky Lynch and AJ Lee promos. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about Full Gear, and we'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about. So sound off in the live chat, send a super chat donation, show some love, and let Jeremy do all the rest of the pleasantries.
leave a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out. You know what I mean? Helps the channel out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed to the channel. Tap the bell for notifications. If you're on iTunes, Spotify, however you listen to the podcast, leave us a good review there. And yeah, as SP3 mentioned, you can leave a super chat. We've already got multiple super chats this morning. We had one. What was the earliest one this morning? I feel like they left it on the wrong show, but it was left at 1:18 a.m. They were so mad about WWE at 1:18 a.m. They left us a super chat. This is why we got to set up the shows early. I mean, we typically do. Yep. We typically do set them up the night before. I was very early on setting up this show last night. I did set it before Raw even went on the air. I was like, I don't feel like doing anything after Raw. I'll set this up. Joel, just add the thumbnail and change it up, whatever you need to. So shout out to Jay Miller who left us a super chat. We'll get to that. And Volleyball also left us a super chat. We'll get to that as well. So we will get to the super chats. As always, we like to interact all the time with the chat, no matter what. And SP3 kind of mentioned the Brock Lesnar slip and comparing it to the Shockmaster, and that was, I'm going to change up the poll. My poll question was going to be funnier Brock Lesnar moment. I was going to put 42 in parentheses on Brock Lesnar because we should not forget that. But funnier Brock Lesnar moment, ripping his pants or falling last night. But I do like Shockmaster or Brock Lesnar as the poll question.
That's like more of a competition. That would have been a blowout for last night.
Yeah, because I like that one better.
That's more of a competition. Like even my missus, who is like taking a long-term absence from watching anything wrestling, she saw the clips and had to make a meme about it and put the Shockmaster helmet on Brock Lesnar. So when it hits like my missus, if I go to talk to my mom and my mom saw it, like it's an all-timer. It's an all-timer.
All right, the poll is up. Brock Lesnar slipping or Shockmaster, just being the Shockmaster. Titus is a good shout. The Titus fall is a very good shout as well. But we're gonna just go Shockmaster and Brock Lesnar for this one. I want to address this real quick. Joel's saying, "Who was that with the ITW sign at Full Gear? I was sitting right near you." That was the great Ken Bruno. Jules, Ken is always making some thumbnails, some meme thumbnails for the show, and he had the In the Weeds sign at Full Gear last night, or 3 nights ago. Jesus, time flies. Yes, Saturday night is when Full Gear was. He had the In the Weeds sign, and so that is our new kind of photo before the show opens here. And he apparently got yelled at by production. Tony Khan was in production's ear and was like, tell them to take that sign down. We can't have that sign out here. And you should have said hi. I hope you're doing okay, Jules. I see you have a knee injury out there. Rub some Tessum on it. You'll be fine. But no, I do hope you were doing okay and you heal up okay. But yeah, we had a few In the Weeds representatives at Full Gear this weekend, SP3 included, being there. Do you want to go ahead and talk about Full Gear? I don't have too much to add from yesterday. So if you would like to, you said you did 4 hours on True Heel Heat, which I sounds about right. So, but if you want to add anything here for our audience, the floor is yours.
It was funny because I was on True Heel Heat and I had to talk to my missus about it because she caught me and she made a meme out of one of my faces that I was making during the show because I was on there with like 3 people who were very positive on the show. And because I was live, I did have to kind of point out some of the negatives or the nitpicks on the show. I was like, why are you doing a 4+ hour show when your show starts at 8 p.m. and it's Newark, New Jersey, and New Jersey is infamously known for its bad transportation, and you're going to have media here until 2 a.m. And it's just like, like those type of things I had to kind of like bring out, and then kind of the negative feedback to the main event and the fact that this card was not the best paced. I thought that Forbidden Door, Wrestle Dream, and even All Out. I thought all of those were very well paced shows. I thought that the only kind of nitpick that I had for like a show like All In was I thought that the pacing was kind of off and the match placement wasn't as great as it could have been. Like if you put the Bucks match up at the beginning of that show, I think that the show plays out a lot better and has more ebbs and flows a lot better, and I probably would have put that as my show of the year with that little change. But I thought Forbidden Door, Wrestle Dream, All Out were all very well paced, and then this one just wasn't. Like the fact that I called it to Kate. Shout outs to Kate, who sat next to me for most of the show. I looked at her when Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley came out, the no holds barred matchup, and I was like, this maniac is going to put the no DQ matchup next. I was like, I literally called it. I was like, he does not realize what he does to these crowds. He does not put himself in the shoes of the people at the show and the shoes of the performers who have to overcome that type of stuff. Because I thought that Briscoe and Fletcher was arguably the best match on the show, but they had to overcome and get the crowd back into things because they just saw another bloody matchup. And yes, it was much different in the ways that they use weapons. Like I thought that the no holds barred matchup was really well done. It's so well done that I think I want to watch it back on TV because I heard so much about Brian's commentary during the matchup and how it was no holds barred in kind of an old school way where no holes were barred and they were using the weapon, and Moxley, and seeing like the close up of stuff I think will change my perspective. But I thought that match was excellent. I thought Briscoe and Fletcher was fantastic being there live and seeing all the big moments and having the emotion of the crowd behind Mark Briscoe. But that was the peak of the show, really. Mark Briscoe wins, and that was the highest the crowd ever got. It never got that high again. They got up for certain things like Chris Statlander and Mercedes. That was a great matchup that got the crowd back into things, especially after the 14 Amigos. I thought the Elite versus the Jurassic Express and Omega versus the Bucks and Alexander was another awesome matchup as well. But that took a while for people to get into, and really the only person that they really were invested in from the minute go was really Kenny Omega. And you kind of, well, Klay Thompson was the best person in that matchup. See, look at that. Look at that. Klay Thompson getting bricks and Kenny Omega still the best person in the matchup. Selling like a champ. But man, this guy over here always hating on my boy, but seeing him live, I was like, man, he's a superstar. They react to him like a superstar. They reacted to Mercedes like a superstar. They were very much down for the main event, like throughout the whole entire kind of matchup. They got up for certain spots. They definitely reacted to the blood and stuff like that. And of course they booed Hook and stuff, but that match was very well, not well done and well booked. It was overbooked, overproduced. And the fact that we had a cage match with like 3 run-ins was just ridiculous.
That's the norm now.
No,
like
it really shouldn't be, and it really hasn't been that much in AEW. Like I can know of like 2 instances that there was really like interference during a cage match, and that's Don Callis stabbing Kenny in the head with the screwdriver, and then
Gabe Kidd and Joe.
He didn't enter
Moxley.
The cage. He handed the briefcase through the cage.
The cage
not
door
interference
was
to
open.
Me. That's not interference. He didn't get in the cage.
Okay,
and the cage is supposed to keep the interference out of the ring.
Okay,
that
so
is
you
fine
would
for me. Slipping a weapon, that's fine to me. That's how a heel's supposed to win a cage match.
So would you say that Roman interfered in the Punk and Rollins cage match?
Well, he caused the winner. He caused the winner to happen by pulling him out, but no,
right, but he didn't enter the cage.
He didn't go in the cage. I just saw. I thought that the finish was not the best, but I didn't complain about the cage being the cage stipulation being kind of null and void.
Okay, I'm just clarifying. I don't like it either way. I don't like the door being open, and I don't like people coming out or anything. I definitely don't like when they actually enter the cage. That completely defeats the purpose to me.
Yeah,
but
actually
I also
entering
am not
the cage
a fan.
and physically getting involved with one of the competitors. that's the stuff that I will be like, no, you're kind of disqualifying the whole cage stipulation, because I think of the instance in the Jacob Fatu Solo Sikoa matchup where the interference just killed that and made that one of the worst matches of the year. This one, it was still all right. It was still fine, but it did kind of they didn't have as great of a matchup as they had at Wrestle Dream. But the crowd did get up for Swerve's return at the end. They reacted big to him. That was one of the loudest reactions of the whole entire show. And I thought overall the show was great. I thought the best match on the show was FTR and Brodito. That just felt like takeover vibes. Like, I've been in the building in Barclays Center for DIY versus the Revival back at Takeover Brooklyn in 2016, and I had those type of vibes watching that matchup. And Bandito is just so good. He was so well booked in that matchup too, just being the resilient babyface, kicking out of everything, the stuffed power driver, the double team burning hammer. You get Brody getting taken down with the stuffed power driver on the apron, man. The gorilla press slam to the outside with one arm. Man, Bandito's so awesome. And then him just being resilient, instead of putting up the guns, he puts up the middle fingers before he takes that last shatter machine. That was fantastic. That was one of the best tag team matches of the year so far. And I know there were some people out there who are not really don't have any ball knowledge. That's what we call you. And when we talk about basketball, he's like, you don't really know ball if you talking like that. When you talk mess about Kobe, you don't really know ball. And if you talk mess about FTR, you're mad. FTR, the tag team champion, you don't really know ball to me. Like, come on, man. This is one of the best heel acts in the business today, especially with Stokely Hathaway. It's just taking them up even further as far as being the best heel act. And then you go into account with Brodito. They kind of had the perfect 3-month reign. They had the perfect 3-month reign. FTR has been killing it in the ring just as much as Brodito. So this is a good choice, a good transition, a good title change. Same thing I thought with the Joe turn. It wasn't something, the Joe title change, it was something I didn't predict beforehand. Definitely didn't say that. I thought that Hangman's reign should continue, and I thought that Hangman should at least hold the title going into next year. And I disagree 100% with a lot of what you said yesterday about kind of rating and critiquing the Hangman title reign. I felt like it was kind of like reaching for stuff where a lot of the stuff that you were kind of criticizing, to me, I thought was kind of mood points, because most of his matches were great. He was mostly positioned, especially the first like 6-7 weeks of the reign. He was positioned as the top guy. He was positioned as the face. I think that the Joe feud, the second half of the Joe feud, I think really hurt him, where they kind of transitioned to, okay, now the Death Riders and Jon Moxley are the feud, the focus of the company, the main event feud. That's the main event storyline going on. The downfall of Jon Moxley and the Death Riders going into Blood and Guts, going into Full Gear. That kind of hurt the perception of his title reign. But I thought for a 4-month reign, he had nothing but great matches. He had great promos along the way. His redemption arc is probably the best storyline of 2025. I thought that he got a lot out of this reign. And I thought that this reign was at least better booked than the last babyface reign that he had, to me personally. That's what I thought. Should it have ended at Full Gear? Absolutely not. Was I shocked that it did? Absolutely, yes. So I think that that's a positive. I think whenever a wrestling company can give you a bona fide, shocking title change at the end of the show, it kind of can change your whole perception of the show overall. And to me, I know I saw a lot of people that were complaining about it. They're like, oh, Tony Khan hates Hangman, or Hangman won't get more. Hangman will be AEW World Champion again. Can Tony Khan book a babyface champion? He has before, Jon Moxley, but he was kind of forced into it with the pandemic. And I thought that the Swerve title reign was well booked as well, but he was a babyface at the beginning, and most of his feuds during that reign was him as the heel, just a very popular heel against Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. And I thought the Danielson reign was fine for what it was, because it was going to be a 6-week reign regardless. But I think that he does have to prove himself to a lot of fans out there that he can book a long-term babyface world champion, because we've gotten plenty of long-term heel champions with Moxley. We got a heel babyface run from MJF that was a year, but he needs to have a full-on like 9 to a year, 9 months to a year title reign from one of these baby faces, whether it's Osprey, whether it's Hangman, somebody. You have to kind of prove that you can do this, because we're going on 6 years, and the only example of a prominently well-booked babyface world champion that Tony Khan has under his books is Jon Moxley, and that was mainly because you were in a pandemic and you were kind of forced to kind of let him have the ball and carry it for a whole year. So he does have to approve upon that. But I thought overall, Full Gear was another great show from AEW. It's been a run of great shows, and no, I'm not going to do the gimmick. But no, overall, it was just really, really well done. There was a lot of great matches. Moxley and O'Reilly, FTR and Brodito, Briscoe and Fletcher, Mercedes and Statlander. Like, the list goes on and on of all these matches that deliver. I thought the Casino Gauntlet was a lot of fun, especially being there live. It wasn't as fun as the All In London 2024 one, but still a lot of fun with that one. So just a lot of great moments. I love how they did once again the pre-show to main card holdover, but did it in a different way, where they kind of based it around Okada only showing up and only wanted to wrestle on the main card, which was awesome, and had everyone in our media section absolutely dying of laughter. I was dying of laughter freaking seeing Okada. I was like, this dude, as soon as the match started, I was like, this dude's not showing up until the show starts. I was like, this match is going to start at the stop of the main card, and he's not going to show up until then. And then when he shows up, I was like, Okada, you're one of the best characters. I didn't know that you were the best comedy character ever when you were putting up 6-star matches in the Tokyo Dome. I did not know this. So great stuff with that. Pac and Darby was awesome live. The thuds of those bumps that Darby was taking on the floor, oh my God, they're awesome to hear in person. So yeah, just a great experience. I got to see a lot of people from the wrestling media world, like Kate, got to sit next to her for the whole show. Saw Muscle Man Malcolm, Queen of the Ring, JJ Williams from Wrestling Observer was there. Got to see Brady from the Hill Marks podcast that I was cool with. So yeah, great time at Full Gear, except for an Uber ride at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, I'm gonna respond to a couple of things here. Number one, I'm mad FTR is the champions because it's leading to a Cope and Christian feud, and I don't want none of that. Get them out of here. Not Christian, I like him, but get the other guy out of here. I don't want him being part of my television at all, especially in a title picture. That's why I'm mad that FTR is the champions, even though they're fantastic wrestlers, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and their heel work has been exceptional, especially Stokely Hathaway. But get Cope out of here. Don't need it. Number two, the Hangman reign. It was mid. It was just mid.
I definitely disagree. Definitely disagree.
The matches were good. The promos were good.
The matches were not good. They were great.
Okay, the matches were great.
All great. They were all match of the year candidates. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, the matches were great. There's great matches every single day in wrestling. So the matches were great. The promos were very, very good. I don't think he was positioned strong enough. That's my issue with it. He had 2 pay-per-views where he wasn't the main event. 2! Like, they don't do that in AEW. AEW, usually the world champion is the main event. The Moxley-Darby stuff overshadowed him for half of his run. And his run was only a few months anyway. That's what I didn't like about it. The MJF stuff.
I understand that as a criticism, but that doesn't make it the whole reign mid.
Okay, you know I'm being a little facetious.
I know. Okay. But I'm going to call it out. I got to call it out. If this is going to be a healthy and honest debate. No, you're definitely, I think you're definitely the one freezing because you had the big smile. You're like, Jeremy right now.
I thought you froze for a second, but it
no.
was me. I mean, obviously it's me, but I didn't like the positioning. He could have been positioned better. I will say this isn't totally AEW's fault, but part of it does fall on AEW. It was never going to live up to the moment of him winning the title because that was such a tough moment to live up to. Kind of like Cody. When Cody got the title, you were never going to top that peak of him winning the title. Now, do I think WWE booked Cody's year-long reign the greatest in the world? No. But it was also just never going to live up to that WrestleMania 41 peak of everything, or 40, sorry. It was never going to live up to the peak of that. And the same thing with this. I don't think it was ever going to live up to him getting the title at All In and the lead up, and everyone just wanting Moxley to lose the title. That was always going to be a tough thing to like capture and get to that point again. So they were in a tough position off of that. Do I think they could have done a better job to try to get there? Yes, I do. I don't think the challengers overall... Yeah, all right. I don't think the challengers overall were strong. And Kyle Fletcher is fantastic. He was also the TNT champion, and he was positioned where he was. There's a big future for Kyle Fletcher. I don't mind them putting Kyle Fletcher in that position. It also felt a little bit like, hey, we did Jack Perry, who was the TNT champion, going for the title at this stage last year. Now we're going to do Kyle Fletcher going for it. Was a better story. Don't get me wrong. It was a much better story.
It was definitely a better story. Yeah. And it was basically a parallel story of Hangman becoming the world champion against the young upstart of what we saw 6 years earlier at All Out 2019. Plus, it was Kyle Fletcher really kind of being announced as the next top guy in the company. Like any criticism towards that, I'm gonna disagree, and I'm gonna fight back against, because I thought that's probably the best program that I don't have any complaints about from Hangman's whole title reign.
They made it good. That's on the performers. I think the performers did very well with that. I don't think with Kyle Fletcher being the TNT champion, maybe it was the right time for all of that. The MJF stuff.
I disagree. I thought it was very similar to Survivor Series 1992 with Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart had been in the Intercontinental title scene or in the upper mid-card scene, becomes WWF champion, and one of his first rivals was the Intercontinental champion, Shawn Michaels, and it was kind of the announcement that these are the two guys that are going to kind of be the top guys in the next 5 years or so. And I thought the same thing with Hangman and Fletcher.
The MJF stuff again,
and they followed up with it well, where Fletcher went on this whole streak of almost setting the record of TNT champion and had the big blow off with Briscoe. So yeah, I don't get any of the complaints about that, any criticism towards that, honestly. MJF feud, 100%. There is stuff to complain about there. Samoa Joe feud, 100%. The second half of that feud, it was never the real main event focus when it really should have been, and you should have gave them a promo exchange between them. The MJF feud, they kind of tried to tease that it was going to be a three-way with Mark Briscoe, and then went back against that, and then the whole pivot on him using the contract and then not using the contract. There's stuff to complain about both of those feuds that really were the large section of Hangman's title reign. But the Fletcher feud is kind of the thing that he can hang his hat on, that he can be like, no, I actually had a good feud because I elevated this guy. This guy got announced as the next main event star because of me and our hard work together in the promos leading up and in that matchup. That is one of the best matches of the whole entire year.
The MJF feud, yes, too much still centered around Mark Briscoe stuff. And it didn't feel as straightforward of an MJF Hangman feud. When they did their promos, fantastic. Their match, very good, great. Until I didn't love the ending of that whole thing. The Samoa Joe stuff, okay. I love Samoa Joe. I think you can always rely on Samoa Joe. The setup to it felt like we have no one else, so here's Samoa Joe. And I think that's why people were maybe a little bit down on it when it started. And again, the fact that he just felt overshadowed the entire time. You're saying that 2 out of his 3 feuds were not the best over here. So the Fletcher stuff,
one of the best, but the MJF feud, like I said, I have complaints about it, but I won't say that it was a bad feud. It was still good. There was a lot of good out of that. The promo exchanges were good. The matches were good between them. They just the booking wasn't well done. And that's the kind of the setback with that. And the Joe feud, it has nothing to do with Hangman and Hangman's performance. Was the Hangman title reign and his performance well done? Yes, 100%. Was it the best built? No, 100% not. It was not. But
and so we're agreeing.
Was it better booked than his last run? Yes. It was a good title reign. It wasn't mid. It wasn't bad. It was good. It wasn't great, We wanted great because of how the title change happened. But guess what? What you know what I came to the realization, Jeremy, is what I said when it happened in the first place, when he beat Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing. This was a pivot. This was never the plan. So like we should. I feel like fans are going way into the extreme of, oh my God, it should have been better. It should have been better. But it kind of couldn't be better because it was never the plan. It was kind of something that they put together. They gave him a solid reign, but you could tell by the second half of this reign that it wasn't really the focus to Tony Khan, unfortunately or not. That comes down to Tony Khan and his focus. He wanted to put the title on Samoa Joe. I think it's going to be a transitional run. I think that Swerve will probably beat him for the title, and then MJF will cash in his contract on Swerve, and we can finally get our Swerve and MJF feud over the AEW World Championship before Ospreay wins it from one of them in London next year. I think that's probably how things are going to go. Would I have put the title on Samoa Joe? Maybe not. But it's Samoa Joe. It's like one of the all-time greats. Why are we upset? He at least gets one more run. And for the first time in his career, no one has said this except for me. First time in his career, Samoa Joe is a two-time champion in a promotion. Everybody talks about his 645-day reign in Ring of Honor. Everybody talks about the fact that he never won the WWE Championship. Everybody talks about his TNA run and the start and stop pushes. TNA, one-time World Heavyweight Champion. Ring of Honor, one-time World Heavyweight Champion. WWE, zero-time World Heavyweight Champion.
NXT, two-time.
That's not a World Championship. WWE don't count it. I'm not going to count it either.
Okay.
That's not like I'm not even joking. Like
okay.
I did not even take that into account. Like
I mean, clearly
he's a three-time division champion. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, I'm sorry.
He's actually a three-time NXT champion.
Yeah. He's a three-time NXT. He's a three-time X Division. Who the fuck cares? That's like,
okay.
I'm really like, you really took me aback by even saying that. Like, I was like, what? Like, what did we talk about that for?
I mean, fair. If you don't want to count it, I'm just pointing it out.
He's a two-time Ring of Honor TV champion too. I said this is the first time he's a two-time world champion in a promotion. I said what I said. It is a fact. Y'all can check it. Y'all can background check it. And y'all can tell me NXT championship. But I'm just going to laugh in your face because that's not a world title. Charlotte Flair is still a 14-time world champion. She's a two-time NXT woman champion. So she would be 16 if they counted it as a world title. They don't. So I'm not. Here we are. But yes. First time, I'm happy for Joe. He gets this one final run before he closes things out, maybe in 2026, 2027. So I'm glad for Samoa Joe to get one more final big run as a world champion with the ops included. Would I have done it the same way that AEW did it? Absolutely not, because I think that AEW is counting on the investment of Hook, and I think they have lost a lot of the crowd investment in Hook. So we'll see how this goes. But I think that Samoa Joe is a good choice. If you want a heel champion that can be believable, a believable obstacle for your top baby faces to go through, that was the right move to do because Hangman had exhausted all the heels or all the other heels that he could have feuded with were already busy. Okada and Takeshita are in this slow burn storyline. Ricochet's the national champion now. You got Moxley. He's already beat twice. MJF is away, but he could come back, but he's faced him twice this year. Like he faced Fletcher. He's beaten all these guys. All these other guys are busy with other things. It makes sense to put it on a top heel where he can feud with Swerve, with the Hangman, with the Will Ospreay when he comes back, and maybe even potentially, I don't know. I'm still going to hold out hope that Kenny Omega wrestles a singles match in the near future, and maybe we can get Samoa Joe and Kenny Omega, please.
I'd love if we got Samoa Joe and Kenny Omega. I don't know if we're going to get there, though, because in the words of Ja Morant, he's a bum. I can't believe Ja is taking shots at Klay Thompson. Like, dude. This is like me taking shots at Kenny Omega. Like, what the hell? Shut up.
And Alexa Bliss Gamer, no, sometimes WWE does not acknowledge that NXT Women's Champion as a world title only for Charlotte.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
But no, they don't.
No, not with Charlotte. Not with Charlotte. They don't.
They adjusted that. That's the whole reason that we know that the NXT Women's Championship is not a world title, and the NXT Championship is not a world title, is because Charlotte Flair is literally a 16-time women's champion in WWE, but 2 of those reigns are NXT Women's Championships. So she's a 14-time world champion in WWE.
Yeah, they don't do it with Charlotte because they don't want her at 16. And that's why they don't do it with her. But they'll do it with other people because they want to boost their resume. Like, they're not winning 14 titles, so we can say that she's already a 2-time, 3-time world champion type of thing. It's very, they do it however they want to do it in WWE, as is typical. What I'm hearing, SP3, is that you are agreeing with me about Hangman's title reign, and that it was mid.
No, I'm not at all. If I had to grade it, I would give it a B.
I mean, sure, B. I think that's very fair. I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, is the thing.
I love how you go to these extremes.
Yeah.
And then you be like, you actually agree with you. I'm like, what? No,
because I don't actually get upset. I just go to an extreme because I think it's funny to just be like, yeah, it was mid. It sucked. But then if you actually listen to the words that I'm saying, you will. This is why I don't like arbitrary grades and, oh, it was good and it was great and it was fantastic. And I know words have meaning and everything, but listen to the context and the actual review and the content of what is said instead of star ratings and grades and things like that. That's why I was never a person who did. I respect people who do. I have a lot of respect for SP3 and his star ratings, and I think he's the best when it comes to match reviewing and being objective, unlike Triple H, who's the most objective person in the world. I think SP3 does a fantastic job with that, of giving you why this match was a 5-star compared to a 4.5 and things like that. Again, a lot of respect to SP3 for that. That's not me. I go, it was good. It was great. It was very good type of thing. But then listen to the actual review and the criticisms and the highlights from me. Because I'll probably say 2 matches, one that may have been exceptional and one that may have just been good. And I'll probably call them both good. But yeah, the match was good. But then if you listen to what I say, you can tell the difference of what I'm talking about here. Hopefully. And if I don't do a good enough job clarifying and explaining that, that's all.
You do.
Okay. I will take full marks for if I don't actually clarify and explain these things.
I'll actually go B+ for Hangman's reign, because I do remember
Too far. It's a B.
Yeah,
it's a B. You can't do B+.
I do remember that Padre Fincher reminds me that on the flagship True Heel Heat podcast that we graded all the current champions in WWE and AEW, and I think we all gave Hangman A's and A+, because we were all under the understanding. It was oh, this is we're just in the middle. We're just the third inning. This is just third. It's okay that he hasn't been in the main event a couple of times. He's still got plenty of more main events as world. He's got a main event tonight. He's got a main event World's End. He'll main event Revolution Day. Everything will look good, and he'll be the A+ that we're saying he is. So I can't go that far down. I can't go a grade and a half down. I gotta go 1 full grade down because it ended where it ended. It's a B+. Because, and also I've been putting together my end of year lists and stuff. We've been starting to do that with Pull Back the Curtain, Sports Illustrated for the end of year, and then I've been working on stuff for Trio Heat. And Hangman had 3 of my top 10 matches of the year. So, and he has been my top 5 for best on the mic. So, and he's one of the best in the ring. So yeah, I can't fault him that much for the title reign ending short and it not being the best booked.
It's not his fault. I completely agree on his performances were exceptional. Hangman rules. Love Hangman. Didn't think he got the title run that we were kind of all hoping for. But again, I don't think they were ever going to reach that peak. That was such a good peak that it was going to be tough to top. Could they have done some things better? Yes. It would probably help if you do give the guy a main event.
He definitely should have. Okay, Wrestle Dream is okay to me because I think that Darby and Moxley ending their feud, I Quit match, the Sting return, that's okay. the lights out steel cage match, like I understand you want to give Will Ospreay his moment in London and everything and stuff. That's all fine and good. Hangman and MJF was positioned as the main event of that show going into the build. That should have main evented that show. And it should have had a different ending as well if you were going to main event that show.
Yeah, the ending, again, it felt too much about Mark Briscoe at times.
And why did the referee fall asleep after counting 3? Why did he fall asleep? He just said,
he took a nap. He got tired. He was so bored by this MJF Hangman match that he's like, I'm going to sleep.
This dude here. we were commending, me and Kate were commending Bryce Remsburg for how animated he is as a referee. Seeing him in person,
he's great.
Makes me appreciate him and his animatedness on like counting 2, counting the 3 count, doing the he's like so animated. I love it. It was great. Certain people you appreciate more seeing them live, like Darby Allin, seeing how slow he walked to the ring, his whole entrance, his whole presentation is just so awesome to see in person, and just seeing the bumps that he takes is just awesome. Bandito was great to see in person, and how the crowd like connects with him just off of his in-ring charisma and his presentation as well. So great stuff to see. It was a fun time at Full Gear. It was one to remember. I was glad I was in the building for Mark Briscoe getting that moment. That like I said, I thought that was the peak of the show. That felt like the emotional, like all the crowd was invested. We all wanted to see him win, all get the job done. Kyle Fletcher was such a great bastard heel. Him trying to freaking do the brain buster on the screwdriver, which just had people horrified and covering their eyes in case he would have done it. Oh man, that match was superb. Like if he puts the trios matchup, the $1 million matchup, in between Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley and that match is 5 stars. But it had to overcome getting the crowd into things after seeing that bloodbath just before.
Yeah, I was scared when they were going to do the screwdrivers. I was like, there's no way they're actually doing this. This doesn't feel like you can do this actually safe to pull this off. And then they didn't do it. I was like, yeah, that's probably for the best. That felt like it could have gone really wrong if they actually tried that. But also Mark Briscoe, you mentioned commentary and the fact that you didn't hear it being in the arena, but Danielson was so hilarious in this match. He's like, I talked to Mark before the match. I was like, don't do anything stupid. And Mark's like, I don't know about that, buddy. Danielson was great during this match as well. He's the absolute best. He adds so much to the whole production of the show. He needs to be on the entire time, but I understand why they save him for kind of the main event stuff. But he's so good.
And you gotta give Nigel his run too. You can't do Nigel and Bryan at the same time. That's too much greatness for AEW. Apparently.
Fair, that's fair. And Bryan was great though. All right, that was AEW. Is the ice cream truck coming?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, it's like 40 degrees there, right? Why's the ice cream truck going around?
I don't know. Maybe it does look nice today. It has been very rainy over here. It's been dark and gloomy the last couple of days, so it does look nice today. So maybe that's why.
Okay, all right. Maybe it's it. I don't know. What was your ice cream order from the ice cream truck, SP3? Do you not have one?
That's a good question. I think growing up, it used to be the vanilla milkshake. That's what me and my sister used to always get from either the ice cream truck or JFK, Kennedy Fried Chicken. We used to get that from there. But I also used to get, I think it was vanilla and chocolate with rainbow sprinkles on a cone.
Okay. All right.
What was yours?
Yeah. I would get the apologize for finishing the SpongeBob where the eyes were all screwed up. But before the SpongeBob, they had the Sonic. I would always get one of those things. Yeah, the eyes were gumballs and the gum was like really hard and it'd last for like 2 seconds and lose all flavor after that. You know, those things used to be or a Nutty Buddy. Yeah, I get the Nutty Buddy with the chocolate peanut topping and everything. Always. Can't go wrong with a good Nutty Buddy. But the ice cream truck comes around here. It's like $5 for the cheapest thing. And I got too many kids to be for $5 per kid. Like, nah, it gets expensive. And then, of course, they want the more expensive. They want the $7 ice creams. Like, can y'all not? We can go just get a tub of ice cream from the grocery store for like $2, $3. That'll last you much longer, and it's $4 or $5 cheaper. Get out of here. We're not spending $7 on ice cream. I remember when I had my credit card it wasn't fraud, but like I made a big purchase and they're like, why are you spending $2,000 on this? I think it was when I bought my new computer. Everything like, why are you spending $2,000 on this? So like I had to call and like prove like, what were your last 4 transactions? And I was like, yeah, I spent $50 on ice cream. And they're like, $50 on ice cream? Like, I hope that wasn't just for you. I was like, well, what if it was? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I got a bunch of yeah.
How dare you judge me?
Yeah. Judge me on spending $50 on the ice cream truck? Get out of here. I was like, nah, I got a big family. We all got ice cream. He's like, oh, okay, that's understandable. Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had the ice cream they fell off. Yeah, any of those like character ones, the eyes were never right. Again, the gum
always fell off. Yeah,
it was gum, and it literally lasts you like you get 2 chomps gone, just absolutely no more flavor.
No flavor at all.
Nah, it was like what was the juicy stripe? You know what I'm talking about? Those people in the chat will probably correct me on the name. Those things, like it's like 2-3 chomps, flavor gone immediately. It was like the zebra, and they had like the tattoos on it. It was really good, but you had to chew like 20 pieces to actually get some flavor out of those things. And flavor just wasn't lasting. People mentioned the Choco Taco from the ice cream truck. All right, that's a good shout. Yeah, those are good. Those are good. All right, let's stick on AEW. Here, SP3, because they did announce the Continental Classic League brackets, and it's a round robin tournament. Yes, there's technically brackets, but they did announce the lineup for the leagues for the Continental Classic, which begins on Wednesday. We don't know the matches yet for Wednesday, but it does begin on Wednesday. So in the Blue League, we have Konosuke Takeshita, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Mascara Dorada. And in the Gold League, we have Darby Allin, Pac, Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, and the reigning Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. What were your immediate thoughts when you saw these league lineups?
I was like, damn, that Gold League is nothing but bangers. I was like, there are no misses on that Gold League lineup. Like, that Gold League lineup is, oh, I like this guy. Oh, this guy's great. Oh, that matchup's going to be awesome. Oh, this matchup's going to be awesome. Oh, I just saw this match. It's going to be even epic after that. And oh man, I was very excited hitting that Gold League. The Blue League is more of the story league to me. I thought that, it was a good choice putting Jon Moxley in that league, especially with Konosuke Takeshita. I want to see Takeshita get a big win over Moxley. Love to see that. And then also the more intriguing matchup of Moxley going up against one of the Death Riders in Claudio Castagnoli. You got the conglomeration being represented with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. I think Masquerade Dorada is going to have something to prove after, some people were down on his matchup with Okada. I think he's going to deliver in this one, especially against the likes of like Orange Cassidy. I think those two styles are going to mesh so well together. Him and Konosuke Takeshita is going to be an absolute banger as well. And him and Claudio, I think Claudio is one of the greatest bases in pro wrestling history. So that's going to be awesome. But like I said, I think the Gold League is going to have the best matches. The Blue League is going to have more of the stories, with Moxley's downfall continuing, the interplay with the Death Riders, Konosuke Takeshita trying to make it through the block to go to the finals, to go to the semifinals and finals, where he potentially will be facing some of the Don Callis family. But the Gold League, I think it's just the better league, because the stories over there are interesting as well, with Jet Speed going up against one another after their great exchange during the Casino Gauntlet. You got the Don Callis family going up against each other with Okada and Fletcher, and that's a rematch from last year where Fletcher beat Okada in the league play. Then you got Pac and Darby Allin continuing their feud. We got a Darby Allin and Kyle Fletcher matchup. We get Okada and Pac again, their rematch from last year's Dynasty, one of the more underrated matches of all of 2024. There ain't no misses in the Gold League. The Gold League is stronger than the Blue League. I'm not as down on the Blue League as our good friend Jimmy Macaram is.
He's down on everything.
I sent the lineups, and this dude couldn't even compliment the Gold League. He immediately sends me a picture of the 2009 Los Angeles Lakers, and he says Takeshita and the rest of the Blue League.
All right, I gotta respect that, actually. I gotta respect that. But Jimmy's down on everything. What is Jimmy excited about?
He doesn't like WWE. He doesn't like AEW.
Jimmy's an equal opportunist hater. Like he's over everything. I love Jimmy. He's fantastic. I'm with you. I like the Gold League better. The Gold League is every match should be great. Like I can't see any of these matches being like any worse than good. Maybe like time constraints or something has it not reaching a certain level. Something can always go wrong in a match. But assuming that everything goes off without a hitch, every match should be great. I like the Blue League. I do wonder where like Dorada feels a little out of place in that I think the matches will be really good, but there's always that one guy who's just gonna like take the losses, and Dorada certainly feels like that in the Blue League. Where in the Gold League, I think Kevin Knight and Speedball will be those guys, but I could also kind of see like I wouldn't have Darby take a ton of losses. But I could see Darby, losing to one of them. I could see even Pac losing to one of them. Dorada, I can like only see him beating Moxley because I think Moxley might actually.
I think either Moxley
match.
or Claudio, because Claudio lost to Commander last year, so I could see him losing to a Dorada. But yeah, Moxley, I think they should be smart. They shouldn't go the hokey route of him going 0-5. I think that's too hokey, and that doesn't make the wins really matter all that much.
I'm with you.
I think that he should find a way to kind of beat certain people, like an Orange Cassidy, who he has history with. He can kind of find a way and grit it out and kind of use a nefarious way, like a poke to the eye or a low blow, to get the job done against him. Maybe he does the same against like a Roderick Strong. Maybe he even does that against Claudio. He cheats to beat Claudio. That's the only way he could beat Claudio. But then he loses to like a Takeshita. Takeshita is the main one he has to lose to in this. I think that it would be great if he lost to somebody like a Roderick Strong or even a Claudio in the tournament. But it's like two wins, 3 would be pushing it. But like three or less wins for Moxley, 3 or less losses for Moxley, I think is the goal. Should be the goal for the tournament. And I do agree with the chat. I really thought when Brodito lost, we had a whole conversation. Josh is in the chat too. He was on the review for Full Gear. We had a whole conversation about Brodito needs to be in the C2. Like, you just dropped the titles. I was like, do this like New Japan does. When someone drops the titles, it's only dropping it because they're going to be in the tournament. Put Bandito and Brody in the C2. So I was disappointed. That was like I said, I gave the lineup an A-, and the A- was only, they didn't get an A because no Brodito.
Yeah, I thought we would get at least one of them. I thought it was going to maybe be more Brody than Bandito. I obviously wouldn't have mind Bandito being on there, but I thought we were going to get at least one of them. So not having either of them was a little surprising here. I thought Ricochet was going to be in the tournament as well, and obviously he's not. Like, I understand
I'm glad they changed,
but
they went away from putting champions in.
Me too. Oh, trust me. I'm very happy because I thought maybe even Mark Briscoe was going to be in this. Like, I don't need every single champion in this tournament, so I hope they don't do this. But based on their history, I thought, well, we're going to get at least like one champion in here, because that's what they like. The TNT champion, I think, has been in it the past 2 years, and it's only been going for 2 years. So it feels like they always do that. So I thought we would get at least one champion here. But I'm glad that they did not put a champion in here. I think I'm with you on Moxley. where it comes to he can't lose all 5 because then it feels like you're devaluing all of his losses or you're devaluing the wins for everybody else. It's like, all right, well, if Mascara Dorada and Roderick Strong beat him, what does it really mean that Claudio and Takeshita also beat him? And also you're devaluing, like, you're kind of by proxy devaluing wins for like O'Reilly and Darby and to a lesser extent Hangman, of like, wow, this guy just kind of sucks actually. Like, he's losing every single match. What is a big deal that any of these guys beat Jon Moxley? Like, he actually just kind of sucks. So I would not have him lose that many. I'd have him beat Roddy, Cassidy, and Dorada. I'd have him lose the Claudio because I think that's part of the story of Claudio kind of being, while we both agree that Pac should be the leader coming out of all the Death Rider stuff, they're also positioning Claudio very highly. I'm sure, I mean, I don't know if you caught the moment live or you caught it afterwards, but like Claudio gives the signal for the Death Riders to leave at Full Gear. So they're positioning Claudio in a kind of a top Death Rider spot there. So Claudio having that victory can go a long way in showing like, you lost, dude. Like, I beat you. I made it to the finals. I got that win over you. Like, clearly you've taught us everything you can teach us. You've taken us as far as we can go to this point. Now we got to go further, and you're not somebody we're going to carry along for the ride. So I do like your nefarious means of winning most of these matches to show like some desperation there. But yeah, I'd have him lose to Claudio and Takeshita if I'm doing the Moxley stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe even goes to like a draw with someone else, like a Dorada. Dorada would gain a lot from just going to a draw with Moxley.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the finals is?
I'm going to go with Konosuke Takeshita versus Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I said it on True Heel Heat this past Saturday. I was like, they're gonna honey dick. They need to honey dick us. They need to.
You want to be honey dicked.
Yeah, this is that dynamic where I'm okay with the slow burn. I'm okay with the slow burn because there's so much that you can do out of this, and I don't think they should wrestle each other before the Tokyo Dome. I feel like that is another element that increases the animosity between the two of them if Okada and Tanahashi is chosen to be the Dome main event over Takeshita being IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I think they honey dick us some more. Fletcher beats Okada or whatever they want to do. Okada doesn't make it to the block play, however they want to do it, or whoever in the Blue League beats him. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think it should be probably like Fletcher versus Takeshita in the finals.
I think Takeshita is almost a guarantee. I don't want to say like it's a full unlock, but I think it's very close to being a lock. On the other side, I like your idea of Takeshita and Fletcher. I do like that. I also wonder, because my initial thought was Takeshita and Okada. And I understand where you're coming from of wait until after the Tokyo Dome so you can possibly have an interaction there. My thought is, and this is very petty, and I actually don't think Tony Khan looks at it like this, but if I'm booking AEW, which I should, I'm like, they got Kenny Omega's return. Yeah, I'm fucking doing Okada and Takeshita a week before the Tokyo Dome. I'm doing this match right here. Fuck your little interactions.
And also like I agree. I kind of like, this is a rare case where I'm gonna say some words that you don't usually hear me say on this show. Kind of agree with Joe Pearl.
Oh, World's that's End, not good. Never mind.
World's End is not the most important pay-per-view. Like it's kind of for the C2 finals, and I said last year, and I'll say it again this year. The C2 final should be the main event. That's the most important thing on this show. I don't care about whatever you're doing with the world title. It's cool. Swerve and Hangman coming together. That was a great moment at the end of the show, and them fighting against the Ops. It should be the main event angle along with the C2. That should be the focus of AEW, along with the women's tag team title tournament, which I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think those should be the three main focuses of AEW on television going into World's End. But it's not the biggest pay-per-view. Yeah, I think Gray Street, what I'm saying is I think Okada and Takeshita, you do that for Revolution next year. That should be one of the big matches on that show.
Is there anyone that isn't Takeshita, Fletcher, and Okada that you could see in the finals? Like, who's your kind of sleeper pick?
Not really a sleeper, but I can see Darby going to the finals. I can see Moxley, them not booking it the way we want it, and them getting Moxley to the finals and him losing there. And then they can do that if they do make the C2 final, the main event, he loses in the finals, and then the Death Riders turn on him there. I could see something like that. Pac is a good shout. Pac is someone that they're pushing right now and trying to establish him as probably the new leader of the Death Riders. I could see him going far into the tournament. Probably the dark horse of it all, the person I could see going like the farthest that not a lot of people are saying, Kevin Knight. I think Kevin Knight is in for like a little bit of a singles push within the next 12 months.
What if we're looking at this all wrong, SP3, and we think this is setting up Don Callis beef with Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher, but we are wrong, and this is setting up Death Rider Darby continuation, and Jon Moxley and Darby Allin is the finals, and this is where Jon Moxley defeats Darby Allin, and he just continues as the leader of the Death Riders. Like the last 6 months didn't happen.
It's now tournament. It's the last time it's now tournament where they're gonna give us the match we've been seeing all year in the finals. Gunther and Jey Uso.
That's the new way I'm looking at this. So the C2 does start on Wednesday. It'll conclude at World's End. We'll be talking about it plenty as it continues to play out throughout the holiday season where no one cares about professional wrestling.
What match that we know is happening are you looking forward to the most?
I want to say Kevin Knight and Speedball because the little tease at Full Gear was really good, and I want to see how that plays out in a full match. Okada Fletcher is kind of another one because we know Okada. I do think he'll get up for the C2, but there's also times where he's just like, whatever. Fletcher is a match that he's probably going to get up for. Like, I think he'll get up for most of these matches, honestly, but I could also just see him like, I don't know. Man, even like Okada and Darby, because Darby bumps so well, and Okada just playing like a dickhead heel and getting like all the heat, and Darby fighting from underneath from all that could be really good as well. And those are all Gold League matches. I know.
Yo, the Gold League. What am I talking about? But no, one match that not a lot of people's mentioning, Fletcher and Pac. I think that is something
for sure.
Crazy. The match I'm looking forward to the most though is Fletcher and Darby. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I think Darby Allin is one of like top 5, top 3 greatest TV wrestlers of all time, and Kyle Fletcher is in the top 5 best in-ring wrestlers of 2025. So to have both of those guys in this match, in this tournament, and it's going to probably be a TV matchup as well. It's perfect. It's the perfect kind of matchup for Fletcher at this point, coming off of his successful TNT title run, and the fact that Darby really had the best matchup of last year's tournament with Will Ospreay at Holiday Bash last year. I think that he will probably deliver something similar against Fletcher. But you mentioned the Speedball Kevin Knight matchup. Did you see the Jet Speed and CMLL?
No, I haven't watched the CMLL stuff.
I am telling everybody, please watch that matchup. Please watch that matchup so you can see how good Jet Speed really is, because Jet Speed has been just a great addition to the AEW tag team division. But like, when I see them wrestle, I could never imagine them being heels. But oh my God, they turned into the Young Bucks in Arena Mexico. They turned into these douchebag asshole heels against Masquerada Dorada and Neon. They're just playing to the crowd, putting their nose up to the crowd, flipping off the crowd. The crowd is booing them out the building. They're chanting, Pero, heel at Speedball, and Speedball's just being this freaking cock of the town heel, like he's playing all the groups. He's like pointing to all of them, like, I'm beating up your favorites. I was like, yo, this is awesome. Oh my God. I love this. I love this matchup. That was my match of the week last week because that was just amazing. This is one of the best tag team matches of the year as well because Jet Speed is just so good in the ring together. Masquerade Dorada and Neon are such a great tag team. They're the best trio in probably all of wrestling with Mystico, but when they're paired off, just them alone, they just have this youthful exuberance. They're very fast-paced, very just hitting all the moves. The double jump moonsault was just perfectly did. At the same time, Masquerade Dorada is doing an Arihara moonsault off the ring post. It was just so good. The timing, everything was just so well done, and the crowd he just created a just amazing atmosphere that just Jet Speed just relished in. Like I was so happy to see them on Saturday, and I was just telling everybody in the media section, you gotta watch them in CMLL. They are even better than what we see on AEW, seeing them as heels. They got a long run together as a tag team because they're great as the baby faces, but they can unlock a whole different level of themselves if they become heels in AEW.
I'll have to go back and watch that because I can't. It is very tough for me to picture Jet Speed as heels. I can see Speedball being a little bit dickish, honestly. Yeah. Like, even though he's a nice Canadian kid and one of the nicest people in the world, like, I can see him, like, being, if he's getting booed and everything, like, kind of turning that and being a little bit of a dickhead. So I can see that. Now, Kevin Knight is a little bit tougher for me to envision him as kind of a dickhead. So I look forward to watching that and seeing them in a heel element. All right. WWE Raw. You know it's a great show when the biggest thing coming out of it is Brock Lesnar falling on his ass before the main event segment. I mean, what else are we going to talk about? Brock comes out. He does his little, and then as he stomps down, he slips and falls, ass over tea kettle, and they cut away, and they didn't show it in the social media post. They're like, Brock Lesnar has arrived, and it's just him walking down the ramp. They didn't even show the intro. They were completely off of that one.
So do you think that there's anybody in our chat that hasn't watched this yet? I'm gonna take.
No, everybody's watched.
I'm gonna do the bump for everybody.
You're gonna do. Oh, look at SP3.
I'm gonna do the bump.
Oh,
excuse my slippers that you might see if I do this bump. Let me see if I can do this correctly. Let me get myself in position. You can talk to the people as I do it.
All right, I respect this from SP3. This is definitely something that I would typically do. So I have to 100% respect that SP3 is going for that. If you have not watched this, what are we doing? It's a 3-second clip. Get out of here. Pile driver finisher. Go watch it right now. You can watch it before SP3 takes the bump. You can do this. All right, you ready? You good to go? All right. Well, we'll see how it feels. What did you bump over? What did you fall over there? I mean, he's lost his headphones, so I don't think he can even hear me right now. What did you just fall over? You're muted. You're muted. Are you okay?
My back hurts a little bit, but I'm fine. Yeah. I'm all right.
What'd you fall over?
Where I'm sitting in this room here.
I don't know what you sit on. You don't have like a chair. I feel like you sit on one of those like inflatable chairs. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I thought so. So you just like fell over that? I respect it.
And then fell onto the floor and then got myself back up. You know?
Yeah, you went full ass over tea kettle too. Just like Brock. I like it. Yeah, I respect that you did it. I thought about doing it. I still might, but now I don't want to, step on your bit that you did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now I'm not going to do it. I stabbed myself with a fork and a screwdriver yesterday. So.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, I had to do my due diligence. You know, y'all got a request for Joel on the Wednesday or Friday.
Joel won't put tape on his glasses. SP3, he ain't doing.
He still ain't doing.
No.
Tape on his glasses.
No. He didn't put tape on his glasses. He ain't doing anything physical. We can't even get him to put tape on the glasses. Come on now. Doing this stuff. I agree he should, but he's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to. The last show we ever do where Joel's going to actually have to like do something, do a top tier bit for the people, which that's not going to be for another 50 years, but
I was gonna suggest, because I heard you the other day talking about how you're not gonna do like a holiday show, and you know we've been doing all these clips, and I know it was probably a thought that you've already had, but we should definitely release like a clip show at the end of the year for In the Weeds of the best stuff chosen by us, and then one chosen by the fans.
Well, now we actually like do clips, so that's a little bit easier. I just don't feel like clipping any of this stuff. That's my problem. It's like going back and like finding it and clipping it and everything.
I know the best bits that I've done this year is like the Black family. That was it. Like that's the only thing I want included in the bit show is just us talking about the Black family. What other bits?
I do think maybe what day is Christmas on this year? Is it on a
Thursday?
Is it a Thursday? Yeah, it's a Thursday. I mean, I assume we're not doing a Christmas show. That would be. We are planning to do a Thanksgiving show. We haven't worked out the full details yet, but right now, all three of us are in some capacity committed to doing it, assuming the timing works out. It might be a little bit of a shorter show. It might not be the full 2 hours.
We'll figure it out. We'll give y'all some type of
We'll
show.
figure it out. Christmas, yeah. I don't think like show. Yeah. Christmas, I don't think we can get away with doing a Christmas show.
No. I have too much NBA to watch.
Maybe I can put together. Kids, I got a month to put this together. Yeah.
And kids to give gifts to, but most importantly,
exactly.
NBA to watch.
Yeah. I think by Christmas I can put together a clip show to set to go live on Christmas Day, so people have some In the Weeds to watch on their Christmas Day. God forbid that's what you guys are gonna be doing. So, all right.
Well, I gotta tell you a little anecdote. I'll pull back the curtain because I like being honest with you guys, but like I don't know what's like weird about me, but I have to get people like Christmas gifts. Like there's certain people that's in my head. Like I have a Rolodex of like, okay, kids, missus, mom, sisters. So, you know, I'm starting to like get that everything straight and, you know, make sure I'm asking everybody what they want for Christmas. And then, you know, I'm talking to my missus and she's like saying, oh, I'm going to get our daughter like a tablet. And I was like, oh, I'll get it. And she was like, no, but I already got like a whole bunch of gifts. And she was like, I'm just going to get this one last thing because she doesn't really like toys. And I was like, but I got it because I haven't got anything because you got all the gifts. She was like, don't you realize that I've been taking your money to get all these gifts? We're co-parents. We're joint parents. Stop acting like a single dad. Like she literally she literally gave me a scolding to. But she was like, you're acting like a deadbeat single dad. Like we're joint parents. Like we get the gifts together. I use your money. Like, why are you acting like you haven't got them gifts? If I got them gifts, you got them gifts.
My wife is very good about that because she does the majority of the gift buying. But yeah, we have a joint account, so it's our money together. And obviously,
me and my missus, we share my PayPal, and that's where all my money gets directed to. So she has access.
And obviously, as a prominent wrestling podcaster and writer, I'm rolling in the money for us to use. And so whenever we get them anything, you know, it's from us, even though she does the majority of the purchasing with everything.
I had to be told that though. Like I was like, yeah, I had to be told this. It hasn't been like we've been together for 6 years, you know. It took me only 6 years to.
Sometimes I think of that too. Yeah, sometimes I think of that too. Of like, shit, I haven't done anything. I haven't like gotten them anything. I'll get them like one thing because I'll go shopping and I'll see some stuff like, oh, this will be good, and then she gets them like 20 things, and I'm like, oh, I haven't like done enough. But then she's like, well, you know, it's like our money. We're getting them these things. She just knows them better because known them longer. So That's an easy, she's the mom, and she's the glue of this whole family.
Absolutely.
I'd
That's
be
what
dead.
Mom is.
Yeah, I'd be dead if it wasn't for her. Anything else happened on Raw to talk about besides Brock falling on his ass?
I feel like we barely even talked about that. Like, this was an all-timer, folks. I was laughing hysterically. I have to let me play the video note that I sent the True Hill Heat gang right when it happened. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the second time in like 3 weeks that I had a hysterical Joker style laugh at something from pro wrestling." The first time was when Frankie Kazarian won the TNA World Championship, and then last night with this Brock Lesnar joint. Oh my god, it was too funny, too freaking funny. I got it here. Let me play it. I hope it plays. No, it's not playing. Okay, because I turned down my phone, you dummy. Holy shit, bro, busted his ass.
Oh man, he comes out and just falls completely on a thing. Like, he's done this how many times? Like thousands of times during his career, and he just fell and busted his ass on this. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And then he's got to go walk to the ring and act like he's gonna do something in this closing segment. I was like, nah, man. Like, I know you're a former UFC champion and like you're a legit badass, but like I can't take you serious right now. I ain't buying nothing you're doing right now. You just gotta chill right here. Talk to me on Saturday. Come Saturday, all right. Maybe you'll be Brock Lesnar again.
They should have cut the show off and entered the ring. Don't even let them see them even interact. Like, you should have cut the show off right then and there.
It's like, I can't take you serious right now. In the show, you're done. We just no more of this. But it's so funny when he just fell over.
Hilarious. That was all-timer botch from Brock. Oh man. And just his reaction. And Paul Heyman, like, it was like everything was happening in slow motion. It's like he rolled in slow motion and Paul Heyman's just watching him. Like, Paul Heyman's like, what are you doing? And then he puts his hat on, Braun Breaker.
Yeah, he tried to play it off. He like keeps walking to the ring. He puts the hat on Braun Breaker. He's like, all right, huddle up, everybody. Again, I'm like, nah, dude.
You ain't the leader no more.
No.
Your leadership.
No. Drew should have been like, no, back up, man. I'm leading this team now. You get the hell out of here. We ain't having somebody who falls and slips on their ass leading this team. Done with that. Volvo sent super chats and did say vanilla fumble.
I'm vanilla, baby.
That's what we call when Brock slips, falls, and pounces like one of Paul E's ECW paychecks. I will use the whole thumbnail for a joke. It was so good. So hilarious. That was the highlight of Raw. Brock falling on his ass.
That was it. Yeah. That's all you need to watch for Monday Night Raw is 10 seconds.
They did have a promo to open the show. It was Cody, Punk, and Roman Reigns. Roman came out and he got acknowledged, and before he really did anything, Cody came out and said, welcome to my team, and then Punk came out and he's like, what do you mean your team? They all trusted each other and blah, 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 and then Roman just said the title would look good on me, and they're like, who's he talking about? Which title? And Roman's like, well, that's for you guys to figure out. All right. Fine segment.
I enjoyed this. I thought this was really good. It was a really good start to the show because Roman Reigns was freaking awesome in this segment. He comes across like the coolest guy in the room.
Yeah.
He comes across like he's one of us because he always says the things that we're thinking. When Cody is questioning him, I literally yell at my screen. I'm like, he's been in this war. What are you talking about? How are you questioning him? What's in it for him? What's in it for you, WWE champion? And then Roman just being like, half of this team is my family. I've been in this war. I was like, thank you, Roman. Thank you. And then when Cody says, welcome to my team, I immediately was like, your team? And then Punk came out. I was like, this segment was like answering all the things that I was saying in response to it, because it was like Punk comes out and he questions them like, how is this this ain't your team? This is Monday Night Raw. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion. He's the one that issued the challenge for WarGames. It's his team. If it's anybody's team, but it's 3 of y'all stars, and I'll be honest, despite y'all having 2 titles on y'all shoulders, Roman is the biggest star here. because I love Punk being like, I thought we were cool last year. WarGames, I saved your life. Last year you saved my life. Then 4 months later you ruined my life. I was like, that's a great response. That I love him being like, he has the investment in the Usos, so that's what he has in it for him, and that he hates the Vision and Paul Heyman a whole lot more than he hates the both of them, and that's the only thing he promised. And then I love the final line of, that title would look better on my shoulder, and just the nonchalant way he threw the mic. He goes out the ring and they focus the camera on him, and then Punk's like, who you talking to? He was saying, he doesn't even say it he just looks to the camera, he says it in the camera, he's like, that's for you to figure out. I was like, that was like the cool guy exit on a sitcom. Oh my god, Roman Reigns is awesome.
That part, and the Cody and Punk are arguing. It's like, you could be the QB on SmackDown, but we're on Raw, and this is Netflix. And Roman's like, why don't you just pull him out and measure him?
That was great. I was like, yo, Roman was awesome. He was so good in this segment. Like, it was just like, there's levels to this. Like, Punk and Cody are 2 of the biggest stars in wrestling. But there's only one biggest star in wrestling, and that's Roman. And he just really, being in the ring with both of them, outclassed the both of them, really. It felt like that from a character presentation standpoint.
Yeah. Roman's so good. He just has, I know people use the aura term, and it's probably overused, but like, it fits Roman. Like, aura, swag, whatever you want to say that he has, like, he just has the presence of when he comes on screen, and he's just like the coolest dude. And Cody always feels like a little like dorky tryhard. I think Cody can be very good when he wants to be very good, but it also just feels like, all right,
he's a Boy Scout.
Yeah. And Punk, I mean, this version of Punk anyways.
Oh man, like, he just pales in comparison. Like, you have Roman come out and he says, OKC, acknowledge me, and that catchphrase is so over. Then you got Cody who comes out and says, Oklahoma City, what you want to talk about? And that catchphrase it's kind of over. It's over. It's just over the line of being over. Fucking, doesn't it feel great to be on a Monday night in Oklahoma? That, it made it feel, that catchphrase feels so forced and so unnatural, especially in comparison to right after very natural setup catchphrases that set up promos. Punks just feel like, oh, I had to do what you guys are doing, so I had to come up with my own thing. And then he immediately steals Roman's. I was like, yo, Punk, why are you even here now? Like, okay, and then he said the thing about Cody saying it. I was like, okay, now I remember why you're here. Shoot.
Yeah, Punk's little welcome thing. Like, everybody has to have that in WWE. It feels like what's this big catchphrase that I can say that we can get the crowd popping? Punk's being, isn't it great to feel alive? I was like, sure, but can you just like do your promo? This is such a dumb babyface catchphrase. It's not even like good either. I don't even like Cody's So What Do You Want to Talk About? Like, it was funny. It was relevant when he said it in AEW. After everything, I was like, oh, okay, this is good. But now that he used it every week, he's like, all right. The acknowledge me. I mean, Roman did that as a heel, and that's his bit. And it's 2 words. That's good. Yeah, the other ones I can take or leave. I really hope coming out of all of this, because they set up Roman against, whether it's one of them, both of them, whatever it might be. I hope we actually get a Roman and Punk feud where they can bite into each other, because they've done segments together and it's all just felt like you guys have so much more to say, and we know you guys have so much more to say, and you are not saying anything. And it's been 2 years since Punk has been back, and I know he was injured for a good chunk of that, but he hasn't been injured for over a year now, and you guys have done nothing to just go into each other like we know you can. I think I was talking about this with Joel of they did a lot with Punk and Rollins, but Rollins also just feels like a little try hard of like, you left us, you walked out, and like, please look at me, please give me all the attention, and please recognize all my contributions to the company since you left. Roman doesn't give a shit about that. Roman is going to just be a passive, aggressive, dismissive asshole to Punk if it gets to that point. It's like, give a fuck that you left? What'd you do for the last 10 years? Like, yeah, not only carried the company, I took this company to new heights and asked to do any of this. I did it all on my own. Great, you left us. Big deal. And think about you once. I feel like Roman is the Mad Men meme where it's like, oh, I feel sorry for you. I think I feel sorry for you. And John Hamm's character is like, I don't think about you at all. Like, that's how I feel Roman is. Yeah. It's like, I don't feel anything for you. I don't care what you're doing. Like, we need that. We actually need that feud between those two. I hope
that's the one that we need right now more. And I said that. What did I say? But when we were leading up to Saturday night's main event, I was like, whoever wins, they're probably going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And throughout this whole build to WarGames, man, we got to bring up the fact that freaking Braun Breaker feels like such
cold
fifth wheel.
So cold.
He's a fifth wheel. Dude, he was like, he looked like he had a rocket strapped to his back like a month ago. A month ago! How fast? And oh my God, I'm going to find that post. I'm going to find the YN Braun Breaker post because there were so many people that were like, no, it's gonna be okay. No, he's gonna win the world title by WrestleMania. Oh no, it's a part of the plan. Why can't you just let it play out? This is why. It took them less than a month to kill all his momentum, where he is the fifth wheel. Bronson Reed has felt more prominent in the build to WarGames than Braun Breaker. He's the fifth wheel on a WarGames team.
Yeah, he's felt so cold during all of this because Brock's getting Brock reaction. He's always positioned as one of the top guys. Drew, they heated him up well because they did the suspension storyline. So they gave him coming back into it felt very purposeful with everything. Logan actually gets mic time to talk and be positioned well. Bronson, Cody did more for Bronson. Yeah, he's the best guy.
He's the best one on the team.
Yeah,
and he cost him that matchup in the last time in Sal tournament.
Yeah, Braun is just like stood there and ticked. And that's like it. And I mean, we had this discussion after they did not put the title on Braun. He wasn't part of the Battle Royal. He wasn't part of like anything. They took him out and we were like, we were fighting back. And I was like, oh, just wait, bigger moment. Why Saturday night's main event? I'm like, man, they got to prove they can actually get there with this kind of stuff. And I don't know if they can. And even if they do, like, is it worth it to cool them off this much just to, on the alleged idea that he might win at WrestleMania? Because that's not a guarantee. Like we talked about then, there's no guarantee of that. People want to talk themselves into it, of the whole let it play out and don't worry, he'll be better off for it. Again, not a guarantee. Jey Uso, they could just fall in love with him all over again in January, and all of a sudden Braun Breaker's out the picture.
That's literally what I was going to say. We have seen from this creative team, someone will get hot and they'll just go on that bandwagon and forget all about everything they did over here. They did all this setup for Braun Breaker, but say LA Knight gets hot again, they'll just jump on that. They'll jump on that bandwagon. Whoever gets hot, that's who they're going to go with when it comes around WrestleMania time. It doesn't matter if the plan was for Braun Breaker to win the title in 2026. It's going to get pushed back to 2027. It's going to get pushed back to 2028. And then he'll be 30 years old. And then they'll be like, you know what? Maybe now is the time. That's when they'll figure it out. When he's 30 years old and they're like, okay, now we can do it. Now he doesn't have. We still have time. He's 28. We still have time. He's 27. We still have time. He's 29. And so as long as it's 20 that they say after that, they are gonna say he still has time. But if it's 30, then they're like, oh, okay, now we can really get this going. Or you could be 40 and they never get it going, like LA Knight. Like, this is what this company is, like, under the Triple H kind of creative regime.
Yeah. Elsewhere on the show, Last Time's Now tournament. I'm just going to do, well, I guess because one ended very shortly, there's not going to be much to talk about. But Gunther defeated Carmelo Hayes. No real surprise, but a very good match between these two. And again, no real surprise that Gunther ended up winning. But Carmelo Hayes needed a strong showing. And he did. Just to kind of boost his stock. And I think he got what he needed out of this. And hopefully, again, there's no guarantees on this. Hopefully, this will be seen and, recognized by important people and be like, all right, you know what? Maybe we can do something with Carmelo Hayes after he potentially defeats The Miz, because I'm not even sold he's going to defeat The Miz. But maybe we can do something with Carmelo Hayes off of this. Hopefully. No guarantees there. But what did you make of this match?
I thought it was a splendid matchup. That was a great, splendid matchup between Melo and Gunther. I wasn't expecting it. That's why I have to praise it and wax lyrically about it, because I thought it would be a very good matchup. I thought, Melo would put in a strong performance, but I thought that he really got the crowd behind him. And I was really kind of blown away at how well WWE have presented him as this underdog babyface since the whole turn from The Miz. They started the work with that matchup with like Kit Wilson and his promos backstage, and then the matchup with Bronson Reed, he was able to get the crowd behind him and root for him against the Vision member. And then here against Gunther, he just played that great underdog babyface. I thought his selling of the chops and the exhaustion of the matchup really kind of got and gripped the fans and gripped me as a viewer into the matchup. I thought he showed really good fire when he was making his comeback and rallying the fans behind him even more. He got some really close near falls also, and I thought that Gunther not beating him with the sleeper was a big kind of moment that put him over, because most people, it's those elbows to the face, you get locked in that sleeper and there's no way that you can get out of it, and him getting up from it and getting out of it in some type of way, and then Gunther having to pull out one more power bomb was a nice little way for him to get over in defeat. That Gunther didn't use his usual kind of assembly of moves to beat him. He needed one more power bomb to put him away. So I thought that Melo could get a lot out of this with the right follow-up, and Gunther gave us another great matchup. I would actually say this matchup was actually better to me than the Javon Evans matchup. That's how much I enjoyed it.
All right. I don't quite agree, but I see the argument for it. So, but it was overall, it was excellent match. And Gunther, as far as in-ring goes, I don't know if there's anybody in WWE that tops him.
Not even close. Yeah. Not even close.
Not on the men's side. EO is exceptional.
Yeah. EO's in the top in-ring performers of the year. So yeah. But on the men's side, no one under the age of 50 is on this level. Rey Mysterio might be. Rey was awesome last night.
Yeah, Rey was great. The other Last Time Is Now tournament match was Solo against Penta, and unfortunately, Penta got injured very early into the match, and so it was stopped, and Solo is the winner. Best wishes to Penta. Hopefully he is okay. They just did the reunion with the Lucha Bros on AAA that no one watched, and hopefully this doesn't.
Did no one watch it? How many views does it have?
Let's see. It was on 3 different YouTube channels. People watched it.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't.
No one's talking about it.
Yeah.
I saw that headline yesterday. What were y'all talking? You said
that's Joel.
It's like, oh man, Joel.
I didn't get it either.
And then him trying to explain it, where he basically gave us the Tony Khan answer of, I don't really have an answer. I'm just gonna talk around and say some words about I didn't see as much. I didn't see as much people as I talked before, but it was a good show. But this is I was like, you didn't explain anything. You didn't explain this headline at all. When the big thing was, you could have just said, everybody hates Hangman losing the title. That was more of a controversial one that draws the viewers, and I understand the point of a headline. I have a YouTube channel as well, Joel, but damn.
AAA has 500,000 views on the WWE channel. It has about 200,000 on the WWE Spanish channel, and on the AAA channel, it has about 350,000. So it's
about
about a million.
700 to 700,000 to a million have watched across those platforms. I haven't watched it yet. I will be watching it because I try to watch, of course, all of wrestling. Everything, unfortunately. Yeah. But I do want to watch the Dom and Americano matchup because I do know they're going by Los Gringos Loco 2.0, which is hilarious because that is Eddie and Art Barr's former tag team name, and he's going by that now. So I wanted to see them work together, and I heard about the big Vikingo heel turn, them finally accepting that Mexico hates Vikingo. I still like. I find it hilarious that Mexico has decided that Vikingo is the amalgamation of WWE taking over AAA. Like, that's basically what they have did. We're gonna boo you. You are the avatar for our anger at this American company purchasing us. We are taking it out all on you. That is hilarious to me. And the fact that WWE just accepted it and just said, "Hey, you're gonna be heel now," is hilarious because he's not gonna be heel anywhere else besides Mexico because his style is not anything remotely heelish at all. So here we are. I do want to see that. So I'm gonna check that out. And I was excited to see the Lucha Bros team back up against Americano and Dom. So this injury for Penta and how it happened was just really unfortunate. And you could see kind of the disappointment and the frustration on Solo's face. Solo didn't even sell that he just advanced in the tournament. He was too pissed off that the match that he wanted to wrestle didn't happen.
Yeah, now he's got to face Gunther, so that sucks for him.
Yeah, you got to get chopped a bunch of times. So
it'd be a good match. It might be the best solo match we've ever seen, honestly.
Maybe. I mean, he's got to outdo Dolph Ziggler from last week.
What's the best solo match so
probably
far?
Probably the Cody Cage match.
Oh, on SmackDown? Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fun. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Elsewhere on the show, it's part of your headline, but Dominic Mysterio came out and he ran down John Cena and he's like, you can cheer for Cena all you want, he's not going to be here. And then the music hit. And like, I think everybody, I'm pretty sure Joe Tessitore was selling the moment, but Joe Tessitore was so fired up. Like, he's here? An unscheduled appearance? Oh my God. And I'm like, just like, he's not actually there. Like, no, they're not doing that. So what are they going to do? Are they going to do a fake out? Are they going to do so? And like, nobody comes out and Dominic laughs and it's like, ha, gotcha. Are they going to do a fake John Cena? Here comes, cosplay Miz coming out here as John Cena. They love putting the Miz in all of this stuff. So could have seen that. Nope. They did one better. They went mini John Cena and mini Stu, which I got to give them marks for mini Stu.
That was clever. That was clever.
Mini John Cena and mini Stu come out there, make the way to the ring, and Dominic's like, what are you doing? What's happening? You continue to run him down, and mini Cena hits the fine speech, and he says, the champ is here, you want some, come get some. And Dominic's like, this isn't part of the plan, and then he boots him right in the chest. I love a good boot. I love a really good boot to the face, boot to the chest, whatever you want to do. Boots him in the chest, 619, frog splash, and then Rey Mysterio finally comes out. Even Rey Mysterio was like, let the mini get beat up before I need to come out for all of this. This segment was peak Attitude Era bullshit. When people want the Attitude Era back, this is the stuff you are talking about, and you don't realize you were talking about. You think it's blood and beer and middle fingers and all of that stuff. It's little people. That's the bullshit that they were doing in the Attitude Era. You got what you wished for, folks. You got the Attitude Era returning with this. I don't think you were a fan of this, SP3.
I see people in the chat were a fan of it, so I'm not gonna, crap all over it. I'm just gonna say it happened. I didn't laugh. I saw Mini Stew and I was like, that's clever. He said fine speech and didn't even say it right.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
The promos were not good. This was straight out of like the Vince McMahon playbook. Like this is what we've been getting a lot of times on WWE on Netflix ever since Raw came to Netflix. It's like they snuck Vince McMahon in like he was Russo in TNA. Like he's booking certain stuff, and this was one of them. And I'm sure seems like a lot of you people enjoyed it. Oh, small person, that's hilarious. I was not one of them, unfortunately. This wasn't good. This was really bad. This sucked. This fucking I wanted to turn off my TV. This actively made me not want to watch the rest of the show.
Wow, okay. I mean, fair. Do I think it was good? No. Even the performances wasn't good. I can't even say
it wasn't good. No.
Like Dominic was great in the segment. I love this boot to the chest, that's for sure. But the Psycho from Micro Championship Wrestling, like, man, you botched your lines here. You botched some mannerisms as well. Like, the performances weren't good, but I love that they did it because it truly is a reminder of the bullshit that they used to do and the bullshit that they can do that people do not realize and think that they're so above now. Oh, we do long-term storytelling and we do Easter eggs and we're leaning more in towards the cinema of things. They still do cinema, but they do comedy cinema as well. They are out here. They are still making movies like, I don't want to compare it to like Step Brothers, because Step Brothers is actually a very good comedy.
Yeah, that's actually
not very good comedy.
Actually was a funny movie. This wasn't funny. Like, this didn't accomplish anything. And it becomes worse when you think about the fact this is the go-home segment for John Cena.
That's what makes it funnier.
Pay-per-view matchup. Oh my God. Okay, I was trying my best to not.
I was gonna break you. I was gonna break you.
This segment, or the people in the chat that seem to enjoy this stuff. I'm slightly concerned. I'm slightly concerned that anyone likes this type of stuff, unless you just like stupid shit. Like Jeremy has said, he likes it. So I can accept Jeremy liking this, but you have to accept the fact that this is not good, but you somehow like it. And not the fact that you are going to try to convince other people that this is good. Because that is what wrestling fans do. Wrestling fans don't know how to say, okay, I enjoy this, but I understand why everyone else knows that this fucking sucks. But no, wrestling fans don't do that. They be like, no, this is great. This is great. I don't understand what you don't like about it. Because I don't have all my brain cells. I enjoy small person being kicked. Oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's not like I've seen this 47 fucking times from this goddamn company since 1997. I saw Mini Bret Hart. I saw Mini Bryan Danielson. That shit reminded me of when Big Cass kicked over Mini Bryan Danielson. This shit sucked.
I'm sorry for laughing. I forgot about Mini Brian Daniels. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest shit ever. And yes, that is why I love it, because it is so stupid. It is so absurd. Should we be doing better stuff than this? Yes. Come on now. This is your best idea, is to bring out a mini person to beat them up. That is what you have 50 writers for, to do stuff that you were doing 20 years ago. I mean, that's their whole bit anyways. They just like doing stuff 20 years ago. That's why all their top guys are, 50. It's so funny to me. The mini stew. Because they had the mini stew, but then they also showed Stu, which means there was also a cameraman behind Stu. It was a Russian nesting doll of cameramen. It's so good.
Absolutely, Vala. Yes, he does. He sounds like those files that says "own the libs." Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, liking it because
and the fact that he thinks that the segment triggered me, and not idiots like him that think that this is hilarious and love the segment. That is what triggers me. That, not the segment itself. I watched the segment and I was gonna react like I started off this whole thing. But the fact that I know Jeremy can find some enjoyment out of this, and then you have nincompoops like Xeno Hour who just accept like, oh yeah, I like it a lot. It's hilarious.
Oh man, this was so stupid. It was so dumb. It served no real purpose.
No purpose.
None.
No purpose.
None.
Did not get me more excited to see that matchup. Did not sell a goddamn ESPN subscription. None of it.
No.
None.
It did not get me excited for the match at all. I like this is your big go home segment for John Cena's last pay-per-view match. This is it. Get out of here. Come on. This was the best y'all came up with? Getting 50 writers? And this is what y'all came up with?
50 writers for this. For this.
It sucked, but it was also so funny, and how bad it was, and how...
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see you laughing at something because it is so bad.
Yeah.
It is so bad.
Speaking of laughing at things that are so bad, the main event of this show... Man, this is
did we talk about Maxine Dupree?
Oh, I was gonna get to the women's stuff at the end to tie in with our super chat as well.
Okay, yeah.
The main event was rough. It was, what the highlight of the main event, and this is not good. I think Jimmy Uso does a better spear than Jey Uso. That's my takeaway. I think Jimmy's spear is better than Jey's.
Definitely.
That's the only thing I got out of this main event.
Like, Jey Uso is so thankful that he told CM Punk to do the spear in that Saturday Night matchup, so he's not the worst spear in WWE. Because, man, every time he hits the spear, it's just like, dude, just stop doing this. Just stop doing this. Yeah, Logan Paul was awful. Oh my god. We have seen Logan Paul when he is in these pay-per-view matches, and you got the Steven Richards of the world who love Logan Paul because they see his pay-per-view matches that he has planned out for about a month, and has set up a ring at his house and hired Curtis Axel and Jason Jordan to come train him and go through every freaking spot of the matchup. That's why he comes up so well about in some of these pay-per-view matches. But when he is out there to wrestle and it's not planned out, it did not go well at all. Oh my god. It did not go well at all. He was botching all over the place. That one where Jimmy tried to give him a Samoan drop and he went into like a side slam, and then it wound up being a body slam. Oh my God, he just looked so bad and just made a lot of people look stupid for always complimenting him. And Darren, this is my first time seeing you in the chat, so I'm pretty sure this is your first time watching. This doesn't get me angry. Wrestling doesn't get me angry. Wrestling I don't take seriously enough to get angry, but I do find it in myself to come up with rants that entertain you. So if I convinced you that I'm angry, I did a good job. You're welcome.
It was a rough match. The heels won because the heels should have the advantage in WarGames until Charlotte beats Asuka on Friday. Oh yeah. That was that. And then we talked about the closing segment with Brock falling on his ass. There were women on this show. They didn't wrestle, but they were on this show. Jay Miller, who sent a super chat at 1:18 in the morning last night, said WWE had 2 shows in a row without women's matches. What the fuck? Yeah, SmackDown didn't have any women's matches either. This show had Maxine Dupree backstage. Like, I won the title. Still can't believe it. Gotta call Natalia. You haven't talked to Natalia in like a week since winning the title.
That was one. There was multiple things about this segment. That's what I wanted to talk about. Because that was one. Why you haven't talked to Natalia? She helps you trade and can win the title. Why has it been 7 days and you're just gonna now call her? And then the biggest one to me was the next scene.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
When Ivy Nile,
I was dying.
I literally got up from my seat, Jeremy, and I looked at my TV and I said, "Who the fuck is that?" I literally was like, "Who is that?" I've not seen this person ever in life. Because Ivy now had a different hairstyle and a black smudge on the side of her face, and all we could see was that side of the face. So I was so confused. I was like, this might be Ivy Nile.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't until she finally turned towards the camera and we could see her full face. I was like, oh my God, thank God. I thought they hired someone new.
All right, SP3. Let's play a game here. When was the last time Ivy Nile won a singles match on television? Not main event. We're not counting main event. Although it is very funny. The last time she won a singles match on main event was July. Do you know who she beat in that match?
It's the same person she'd be in her last televised win, Maxine Dupree.
Maxine Dupree is who she beat.
That's why I just assumed that it was Ivy now, because I was like, I remember they have history together. But literally, Jeremy, it was like 30 seconds of me just being like, who is that? Why don't they have the graphic? This is the perfect time for a backstage segment where the graphic, the lower third, comes up and tells us who this is, because I did not know.
It looks like Ivy Nile's last singles win. She went to a no contest with Maxine Dupree in August of 2024. Her last actual victory was, funny enough, the same person who Maxine defeated in her last singles victory before winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Valhalla, in January 2024, which was also just her second match on Raw. Her first match was losing to Rhea Ripley. Her second match was defeating Valhalla. And then she has lost or gone to a no contest. She has not won every other. Oh, I'm wrong. Apologies to Ivy Nile. I apologize. Hand to God. Apologies. October 2024. She defeated Zelina Vega. That is her last Raw victory.
She
I
can
apologize to
only
Ivy
beat the
Nile.
lower card. She can only beat Valhalla, Maxine Dupree, and Zelina Vega. And the
Hey,
fact that two of those people have been champions.
yeah, I was gonna say one of them is right now the women's intercontinental champion, and two of them, and the second one is a former women's U.S. champion. So
And she's a part of the Black family.
she's part of the Black family. Oh man, what we talked about it last week. Like they've killed this title now because they're not going to do anything with Ivy Nile. They're just. I'm sorry.
I watched that. I watched that segment. I was just like, I feel vindicated already.
Yeah.
I feel vindicated, and I literally, I had this weekend, I had on True Hill Heat, I had people in the someone in the chat. It was just like, it's not going to kill the title. You know, Maxine won it, and then she'll lose it to Roxanne a month later. No problem. I was like, so that doesn't kill the title? That some loser just gonna hold the title for a month and then he's gonna drop it to someone else who loses all the time in Roxanne, and then she finally wins, and then we can finally push her, we can finally make her into something now. You know, she's in the Judgment Day, but she hasn't won. She like wins as much as she loses. She probably loses more than she wins on WWE television. So it's just kind of another person that they are defining and presenting as a loser winning this title. It is defined down. Like with Becky holding that title, it had became basically like a 1B women's championship. Like it was as important or billed as important as the women's championship. And sometimes Becky was in the bigger matchup in comparison to the women's world champion at a lot of these shows over the last couple of months. So it goes from that to it is defined as just a mid-card title for our lower card women's wrestlers. Because if you're any good, you're going to go for one of the main women's championships now. Because Maxine holding it means that this is now the lower card.
They have all these women on Raw. I know they're all tied up in WarGames, so they got to effectively kill time until after this weekend. But it ain't looking promising for the women.
So you're telling me one of these losers in the back couldn't lose to Nikki Bella on this show, so we can have at least one women's matchup, and Nikki Bella can have at least one win going into her women's world championship matchup?
That's too much effort.
That's
too much thought.
Yeah.
They got to have their 50 writers put together a little John Cena segment.
And a Stephanie McMahon vignette where she speaks in Spanish. Yeah. That's all we can do.
We did have a women's war game promo. Becky was very good, taking credit for everything and hyping up her team.
Hyping? She was burying them all.
She was hyping them.
She's the only woman who has getting any damage to my face, but my bone structure is so good that it didn't have any effect, and she's not as powerful as me, but she is still pretty powerful.
That was hype. She's very powerful.
I love Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is my goat, but this was burying and complimenting at the same time.
The face team came out, AJ's like, you're a chihuahua, and then it led to a brawl. Sure.
I thought Becky was great. I thought AJ was fine. The brawl was fine. It was kind of like you kind of just did this, right?
Yeah.
And the men are doing a different version of this in the main event. So yeah. It feels like last week was the go homes.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with the men last week. Of here comes Brock, here comes Roman, big brawl. And then this week it was, here's Roman, here's Brock, big brawl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, sure. That was Raw, everybody. And Rey Mysterio defeated JD McDonough. That was a very good match. Rey continues to be fantastic, no matter what age he is. But yeah, that was Raw, everybody. All right. What was your moment of Monday, SP3?
My moment of Monday was Brock Lesnar becoming Botched Lesnar and one of the all-time greatest botches in WWE history.
I can't argue with that. I'm not going to pick the same thing as you, so I'm going to instead troll you and say Mini Cena and Mini Stu, more importantly, was my moment of Monday, because Mini Stu really made that segment. So stupid. It was so stupid.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
Do you want to do match reviews for the weekend effectively?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What do I get? 3 or 5?
3. I mean, you can give your top 5, but I'm only clipping the top 3.
I'll say very quickly, honorable mention.
Okay.
Or I'll go through 5 and 4 very quickly. I promise. You can
We'll go
trust
through
me.
top 3 very quickly because I need it as a short.
All right. We're gonna do this perfectly. I'm gonna be prepared because I did write this down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I did write it down perfectly. So set me up, and then I'll time myself. It will be under 3 minutes. I promise.
Okay.
Time. Set me up.
All right. Are you doing? Do you want to do 4 and 5 first?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 5 and 4 first.
Okay. You keeping all of this under 3 minutes?
I'm keeping all of it under 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. All right. So this is SP3's matches of the weekend.
Yes, number 5, going with Gunther versus Mello from last night's Monday Night Raw. Splendid performance by Mello. Gave that match 4.5 stars. Coming in at number 4, you got Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné 3. If it wasn't for the crowd at the beginning, I think that this match would have been even better. But they have one of the greatest trilogies in AEW history. I gave this match 4.5 stars. Number 3, Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley, no holds barred. Love the kind of the innovation of using technical wrestling and forks and chains, the callbacks to certain matches for Moxley. Gave that match 4.5 stars. Number 2, Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher, no disqualification, the emotional high of Full Gear. And Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher, 2 of the best wrestlers in the world. It was an excellent brawl and using of the spots that really flowed and had the crowd on the edge of their seats. Gave that 4 3/4 stars. And number 1 for the weekend from Full Gear, FTR versus Brodito 2, one of the best tag team matches of the year, 4 3/4 stars.
You kept that under a minute and 10 seconds. That was fantastic work. That was easy short for me right there. I appreciate it. I don't really disagree with your match list either. I liked O'Reilly and Moxley a little bit better than Briscoe and Fletcher, but easily swappable on there. But otherwise, I'm with you on the top 4. I would just switch 2 and 3. That's my only difference there. But yeah, good job, SP3. Good job. The Full Gear crowd wasn't good because it was a midnight pay-per-view. Everybody
they were good. Like this is why I don't like wrestling fans sometimes, because they go into these hyperboles. Like the crowd wasn't ass. I know. But this is the thing. This is what all wrestling fans do. They go into these ridiculous hyperboles. Like the crowd wasn't ass. Was it an all-timer crowd? Absolutely not. But the crowd was good for most of the show up until Mark Briscoe winning the title. And then it died because they had been there for 4.5 hours. Most of the people had been there since the beginning of the pre-show. I came after the $200,000 matchup and still was there for like 5 hours. So like, you gotta understand. This is a company problem. It ain't the crowd, it's the company. Stop doing East Coast shows so late.
Yeah, I'm with you. I 100% agree. Stop doing East Coast shows so late. Just start the show at 7, end it by 11. That's all I'm asking. I don't feel like I'm asking a whole lot there. Start at 6. I do think we've gotten to the point of like, does every match need to be 20 plus minutes? Like, I wish they'd find the sweet. My sweet spot's always 12 to 18. Oh, I wish we'd have more 12 to 18 matches.
I had people in the media section mad at me, but I was like, yo, like, All In London 2024 was one of the most enjoyable events I've been to live. You know why? Because I had already gotten used to the format of an AEW pay-per-view in 2024, which was nothing but bangers, and then there's a Jericho match where you can get some rest and you can stretch your feet, you can go get a snack, you don't have to be in your seat. Like I think that actually made for the events I went to, Revolution and All In, made it more enjoyable because I didn't have to be like, okay, I gotta focus the whole way through. I gotta watch this match and this match and this. At least give me one match where I think that I still call All Out 2021 the best pay-per-view they ever had. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that not every matchup is a must-watch. You have Paul White and QT Marshall there. I think all of these shows, if you do these long AEW shows, you got to give us at least one match that people are not going to be that into, that probably has good performers, but they're not the best characters that are over with the crowd. At least give me something like that, because you're going to get some burnout if it's nothing but banger, 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 one after the other.
That's still one of the funniest moments. Revolution, when we're watching the show and we're locked in and everything, and you get up and you're like, I'm going to get food. I'm like, huh? You're like, Jericho match. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go get food.
It's like, on it. I was on it. I saw that meat madness graphic. I was like, oh, time to go.
No, here's the thing. I'm going to give SP3 full credit on this. This was before the graphic went up. This was after the last match ended. I forget the match that came on before, but that ended, and SP3's like, I'm going to get food. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're like, Jericho match. It's like, oh, okay. And then the graphic goes up. And then by that point, we were already up the aisle. So, no, SP3 knew before the graphic went up that it was the Jericho match, and this was time to go get food.
I think it was Kate who told me at Full Gear. She was like, "You're really good at predicting what's coming next on these AEW cards." I was like, "I've seen every one of them. I kind of figured out how Tony Khan will position stuff. Like I can usually predict what's going to be the main event of the show. I can predict what kind of stupid decision he's going to do. Like that Full Gear card, I just knew. Saw Kyle O'Reilly coming out. I was like, he still didn't do the DQ match. He's gonna do it right after. He's gonna do it right after, guys. Everybody just looked at me like, damn, you're good. And then I called during the Casino Gauntlet. I had some people that I didn't even know like complimented me, like, damn, that was really good. During the Casino Gauntlet, when Daniel Garcia puts on the Dragon Tamer and no one else is in the ring, and then the countdown goes up, I'm like, Daddy Magic. I said it out loud. I was like, Daddy Magic. And then his music hit. Everybody was like, oh, SP3. I was like, you kind of see what's going to happen. Like,
Mr. Towns, I'm not going to Final Battle. That was a potential plan. I didn't realize the date of Final Battle. I thought it was December 12th. It is apparently next Friday, and I have personal plans next Friday. So I will not be going to Final Battle. Just want to clear that up. If I was going, I would tell him to drop the another one line. I'll tell Kimmy to tell him, because Kimmy definitely follows through on things. She's not a coward at all. Complete coward. Didn't ask about Jack
Ricochet
Harlow.
left me hanging on the demand handshake when he walked out of the press room. I haven't said this out loud to anyone yet, but he kind of left me hanging. Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, they gave me the demand handshake, gave me the three fingers, but Ricochet didn't want to touch any of the media, apparently.
Fair, but now I'm gonna put heat between you and Ricochet. What if he knew you were already part of like every other group in existence?
That is like, oh, you might be right. I didn't think about that. He's like, nah, you're a part of the Callis family.
You're part of Callis family and Bullet Club.
The Bullet Club, Jay White, the Bullet Club Gold. You're part of all these factions. I'm not with it.
Yeah, I'm not putting you in my group as well. So that's the real story, I think.
I really wanted to be in the demand.
You're whoring around on these groups, SP3. Ricochet accepts no hoes out here.
He's like, Stokely,
you can join FTR and Stokely. You can join them. Stokely would love to have hoes.
This is true. I'm joining them. I was the only one cheering for him in the media section. I was the only one cheering for FTR. I was like, how dare y'all? And then when they won, I literally went in. I cut a promo of the whole media section. I was like, that's what you get. You should have booed him. You should have booed him. I was like, yes, Stokely. When he came out with the belly entrance, oh my God, I was the only one who understood the reference around me. I was like, yes. I was like, Stokely, Harlem, let's stand up.
Yeah, Joel didn't get the reference when I brought it up yesterday. He's like, oh, I had to research. I was like, nah, I had that immediately. Like, yeah, of course Jeremy did. Yeah, listen to real rap out here. I'm cultured in some ways.
You're cultured.
And I'm very white in other ways. I'm more very white than cultured. Let's be honest about things. But I do know belly, so there you go. Anything else? I know we got to preview NXT. I'm going to spoil NXT, everybody. Sorry. Deal with it. I'm going to spoil this show. But anything else you want to talk about?
Have you caught up on World Tag League?
No, not after this weekend. I needed a break from all wrestling.
Fair enough. Yeah, it wasn't. I'll be honest. It wasn't until this morning that I was like, I was up because I was working, and I was like, let me turn on World Tag League because it was already on. So I watched this morning show, and then I had to go back and watch the second night, and I still haven't watched the third night. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that on Thursday. So we have something else to talk about besides AEW Dynamite and the Continental Classic.
Oh, I did put this in the description, so maybe we should. I'll at least hit on it. Did you listen to or see quotes from the AJ Lee and Stephanie McMahon interview?
I did see some of them. I didn't see all of them, but how was the interview?
I thought it was really good. Stephanie, she's a fine interviewer. I don't think she's a bad interviewer or anything. I think she's actually fair. She's a lot like a lot of wrestling interviewers in the fact that people are comfortable with her, right? And like if you know the person, you have a long relationship with them, you're more willing to talk about things than like if AJ Lee came on our show, that'd be fantastic. But I don't think she'd be opening up the way she's gonna open up to Stephanie McMahon. So I thought Stephanie did a great job talking about certain things. It wasn't super wrestling focused, but Stephanie's podcast a lot of times isn't super wrestling focused. It's more of just like, I mean, it's called What's Your Story, so she kind of goes through the history of stuff instead of like let's talk about this singular moment in your career. But they have a long relationship. They seem to like and respect each other, and that also helps. But I thought it was good. And AJ's done like interviews since returning. She's done like media hits with like ESPN and stuff. I really think that's it. It's just like ESPN media hits, but she's never done like a real sit down like this since returning. So it was good to really listen to her kind of talk about in the return, her time away and everything she went through and things like that. Like if you're an AJ Lee fan, I'm sure you'll absolutely love the interview. If you're someone who focuses on mental health and takes that seriously and, you know, has dealt with various types of mental health issues, I think you'll get a lot out of the interview as well. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody if you have not listened to it. It's pretty long. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. Granted, I listen to everything on 2x speed, but it's a fairly long interview, but I think you'll get something out of it, whether you're a wrestling fan, an AJ fan, so a fan of life on here. So yeah, I'll recommend the AJ Lee interview with Stephanie McMahon.
Nice. I'm glad to hear she's have like a long form interview with someone that will kind of ask some different questions that we don't like to kind of see, like the common questions that will be given to AJ Lee, like we saw in the ESPN interview. I think that Stephanie is a good person that can get a little bit more out of her. Yeah,
the ESPN hits are ESPN hits. That's tell me about this, and then okay, let me hype this up type of thing. You know what you're getting out of those. And this was a good kind of first form for her because it is somebody she is comfortable with. And you know, you're not gonna get these hard hitting questions out of Stephanie, but you got stories out of AJ, and because Stephanie does know her so well, she can talk about certain things that maybe AJ again wouldn't talk about in other interviews, no matter what. So yeah, I thought it was good. Again, Bell in the chat saying I watched it. I love listening to AJ talk about mental health, which I went on a journey with that this year, so it was really insightful for me. Yeah, the mental health stuff as someone who deals with depression, is on medication for depression and everything, and tries to take it as serious as possible. Like I really enjoyed listening to her perspective on things and her in her and just her own journey and how she viewed herself and viewed the world and the things she did to cope with everything. So yeah, I recommend the interview. The stuff with Aurora and Stephanie talking about that, Aurora shouldn't get any of the blame. I don't know why people are blaming her. That's kind of a weird thing. I don't know the full story. I know what Stephanie said on the story. So to set this up, she was talking about Aurora and how she would always go to the shows and she would just like sit in on production meetings. This was when she was very young and everything. And AJ's like, oh yeah, she'd wear like a suit to the shows and everything. It was so cute. And Stephanie's like, yeah, she used to say like, I don't want your job, mom. I don't want your job, dad. Like I want Pop's job. I want granddad's job. And then when everything came out with Vince, Aurora was like, okay, never mind. This isn't the path for me. This isn't the business for me. Like, that's how I took it of like, yeah, I looked up to this person. This person was the boss of the whole company. This is the guy who ran. That's what I want to do. And now this person seems like he is not a good person. And now I just don't want anything to do with this business. That's how I took it. If anybody else took it any way differently, I don't know. Stephanie would know, Aurora would know. They would have to clarify how their thoughts and feelings on why they don't want to be in the business anymore. But that's the way I looked at it. I didn't look at it as, because I've seen people be like, oh, well, now that Vince is out of the picture, she doesn't have a path in WWE. I was like, why is that the takeaway? Her mom is still very involved. Her dad is basically running the company. Like, her pathway is very clear if that is what she wanted to do. This is not like, oh, I don't have a path. And maybe she's like, well, dad's the boss now. I'm never going to be the boss. Like, I didn't take that at all. Like, I looked at it as she looked up to Vince. She put him on some type of pedestal, and then turns out he was a terrible person. And now she's like, all right, you know what? Maybe I should just not be involved with this at all. But people are gonna read into things however they're gonna read into things. But I don't know why she's getting any attack. I don't know why she's getting any blame outside of it's the internet and they want to attack and blame somebody.
They always want to attack and blame somebody. I feel for the kid if they got some type of joy out of wrestling and they're not able to get that anymore because of the actions of her grandfather. That's sad to hear. It's disappointing to hear that, you know, something that that made her happy is not something that makes her happy anymore because of the actions of someone that she should only be looking up to because of his decisions and the person that he is. So that's unfortunate, but it's nothing to criticize Aurora about. That's why I made the face like, why are we criticizing her or blaming her online? This is once again, that is what I'm gonna say at the end of the show of what we accomplished. Wrestling fans have weird reactions to everything.
Lab Blast, if you give $20, I will not spoil NXT.
He promises, give $20. We'll not do it.
Not spoiling NXT is certainly worth $20. You kidding me? Easily. I don't care to spoil NXT that much. I'll take $5. I won't spoil NXT. But you've committed to 20, so now you have to commit to it. I won't spoil NXT. I'll see if Lab Glass comes through with a super chat here. So I'll be fair to him. We can go on to what did we accomplish today, SP3?
Oh, we accomplish. Wrestling fans can be very weird about reacting to pretty much anything. AEW, WWE, children, you weirdos. We accomplished that Brock Lesnar may have given us the greatest botch in WWE history. We also saw a Monday Night Raw that built up to WarGames with 0 women's matches, and we talked all about that. I gave you my perspective of being live at Full Gear and the top 5 matches from Full Gear and the weekend overall. You gave that on this show as well, and I pull back the curtain on how I realized this week that I am a part of joint parents and not a single deadbeat dad. So you learned that. And this.
Oh, he did it again. That was the biggest thing we accomplished today is, oh, he's hurt. Are you okay? You're too old for this shit, SP3.
I'm too old for this shit. My back.
It hurts taking these bumps.
It does.
You know what I mean? The biggest thing we accomplished today was SP3 not only took the Lesnar bump once, he took it twice. And I got a lot of respect for SP3 taking the bump twice out here. Committed to the show, committed to the bit. Everyone knows I respect anybody who's committed to the show and committed to the bit. So that's the biggest thing we accomplished to me, SP3. All right, let's get into our poll question. Shockmaster or Brock Lesnar? Which one was funnier? 25% saying Shockmaster. Maybe some recency bias here. Maybe some recency bias with Brock Lesnar. Although, when you think about it, Brock's a much bigger star. Brock,
it's true.
Having been doing this for this many years, never really slipping like this, it is still pretty. Like, Shockmaster was bad because this was supposed to be like the big debut of things, and that was the big debut, and it's like, well, you're dead on arrival, buddy.
And what do I always say? Sometimes you gotta give a match credit for the build-up, and you gotta give credit for the build-up to this botch. We got the ripping of the pants.
Yeah.
Like that was a great go-home segment for this.
Yeah. All right, folks, we are gonna get out of here. We did all right. There was no super chat from Lab Glass. Maybe he dipped out. Maybe he's like, all right, they're gonna spoil this show, so I'm out of here.
Oh, I got a good idea for either Thursday or a future episode. We need to do King of the Hill of famous botches.
Okay, all right, we can do that. I mean, potentially Thursday. Friday. Come on the show Friday, SP3, if you're free, and we can do it then. Because I don't know what the hell we're talking about Friday, considering Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and we ain't reviewing TNA and their stupid little turkey match. So we can do this on Friday if you want.
I usually get like an hour break on Friday, so I could probably jump on, play some TikTok games.
Yeah. All right, we'll set that up for Friday. We are planning to do a show on Thursday in some capacity, everybody. So if you don't want to hang out with your family from 10 to 12 Thursday morning, you can come hang out with us from 10 to 12 on Thursday morning. Is Collision on Thursday?
Oh yeah,
this week?
Collision's on Thursday. Yeah, it's on Thanksgiving.
Why isn't it on Saturday?
Because
of WarGames?
Survivor Series. Yeah, Survivor Series. Yeah.
I thought they were airing it earlier. I didn't realize it was airing live. Oh
no, it's airing on Thursday. I think aren't they filming it tonight? I think they're filming it tonight, and then
you mean tomorrow?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking it's Wednesday. My bad.
That's fair. Oh, that sucks. I don't feel like watching wrestling on Thursday.
He's like, I'm busy watching basketball and football. What do I want to watch?
Football's on. What do I want to watch wrestling for on Thursday? Yeah, it is on Thursday. Oh, man. Why couldn't they air it at like 4 o'clock on Saturday like they've done in the past?
And it starts at like 9 p.m., doesn't it?
No, it starts at 8.
Oh, it starts at 8? Okay.
Yeah, it does start at 8. What's Saturday at 4? What are they airing? The Polar Express? Give a fuck about the Polar Express?
Classic film there.
Put on Collision. That's annoying.
They got to air Jack Frost after. You know?
Oh, they're airing after the Polar Express. They're airing A Christmas Story, and then National Lampoon Christmas Vacation for 24 hours.
It's the Christmas rundown. It's the Thanksgiving weekend starts all the Christmas films on TNT and TBS.
Oh, that's so lame that they're putting Collision on Thanksgiving. Oh, that's annoying. Whatever. Still come on the show Friday. We'll do a TikTok game because Joel's going to talk about Collision in like 3 seconds. But yeah, match was fine. Continental Classic match. That was fine. That was good. It was fine. Fine match.
Fine
Yeah.
speech.
That's all you're gonna get. NXT tonight, everybody. For the Evolve Men's Championship, Jackson Drake against Shawn Legacy.
Match of the night. It's a match of the night. It's the best match we're going to see. Shawn Legacy has been working hard to get this opportunity, but Jackson Drake has been the face of Evolve. I can't wait for this matchup. This is the main reason I'm watching Gold Rush tonight.
Jackson Drake wins. Evolve Women's Championship, Kendall Gray against Lainey Reed.
The real deal, Kendall Gray. Let's go, Kendall Gray getting the title. Come on. No one can mess with her. Not no Lainey Reed. You broke Timo version of Fallon Henley. Like, what are you doing? What you gonna do against Kendall Gray, female Kurt Angle? It's like Kurt Angle went in a Steve Urkel transformation chamber and became a female and 20 years younger. It's Kendall Gray.
Kendall Gray does win. Miles Bourne against Trick Williams.
Little Randy Orton versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams, who should have been called up like a year ago, who's still here playing like he's Van Wilder, still in college, playing that he's still in his early 20s when the dude can pretty much vote and become president of the United States. He's that old. Like, come on, what are we doing? Trick Williams, he better lose and just get called up.
Miles Bourne wins. The Women's Speed Championship Tournament Final, Fallon Henley against Zarya.
I can't get up for this one. It's the Speed Championship. I don't care that much. And Zarya, seemingly like Jordan Grace, never wins a title match.
And she doesn't win this one either. Fallon Henley wins.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And for the Knockouts Championship, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Li Ying Lee.
Let's go! TNA! WWE Total Nonstop Action is back, baby. And it's gonna be in the main event. Kalani Jordan, she is her. She's going to be defending her gold against Lei Ying Lee, the artist formerly known as Xia Li, who used to have the entrances, that used to have all the graphics going all crazy like that. And they're facing Jordan Grace, who used to be one of the best women's wrestlers in the world until WWE booking got a hold of her. But, hey, it's going to be a good matchup.
The former Xia Li wins.
Let's go! TNA! 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 TNA!
John Cena is going to appear via video to announce the Iron Survivor participants as well.
Miles Bourne, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Let's throw someone from Dark States, probably the best one, the only one who needs a job. Saquon Sugars. The stocks are not up because only one of them deserve a job. And then the final spot, let's do Josh Briggs.
Okay. Do you have a women's selection?
Women's selection, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, and Thea Hale.
Hell yeah. Should be Thea Hale. She was on main event last night. Hopefully it leads to her being in all of the main events as it should. All right, folks. SP3, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 30 minutes over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel with Top Guy JJ to review last night's Monday Night Raw. We'll get his thoughts on Full Gear. This is his first time back on the channel in like 2 weeks, actually. So we'll get some thoughts from him on that. Also today, we got our top 10 best AEW Full Gear matches dropping on the channel. If you want to give your contribute to that list, we have a community tab post that you can comment and say what is your greatest match that you ever seen out of AEW Full Gear. But that's dropping on the channel tonight. We got Patreon dropping later today as well. And check out True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, where me and Chris G talked about who has the better legacy between Steph Curry and LeBron James, and gave our top 10 best players in the NBA right now.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the answer to both of those questions.
He was number 2 for both of us.
Nah. You're wrong.
Hey, you should give me credit for coming a long way where I can accept that Nikola Jokic is the best player.
That is true. That is true. I won that long-term argument between Jokic and Embiid.
You did.
I feel
You did.
good about that one. All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. Myself, Joel Pearl. I guess talking about NXT Gold Rush. Sure. Whatever else we'll have to talk about. I'm sure something will happen in wrestling tonight because something always happens in wrestling. Appreciate everybody hanging out today. We'll be back tomorrow. Till then, take care, everyone.